sense. And so we're going to develop our knight first. And so I'm a little bit hesitant about locking my light square bishop out of this pawn chain because he can quite quickly grab it. So I'm going to push this pawn so my bishop has a place to go. And it looks like we're just going to happily and merrily develop our pieces and hop into a game of chess. Now, the best move is to castle. The best move. Without a doubt, I know for a fact, all of my minor pieces are developed. Moving the queen makes a fair bit of sense. But for the sake of the content, we're going to go this way. If it allows. Opposite side castling. And now we have a game of chess in our hands. Now I'm almost guaranteed that this was an inaccuracy, and I know that this was the best move, and this queen here, maybe it wasn't the greatest idea. But by golly, let's just push a pawn. Let's just push a pawn. He's pushing pawns, I'm pushing pawns. And we're going to have a tactical scrimmage. Did I mention something about playing a chill game of chess? Sometimes I switch gears and I feel like attacking. So disregard everything I said about having a chill game of chess. If we castled this way, it was a completely symmetrical chill game of chess. So he's got a lot of pieces looking at this square. This is only defended by this knight. That is something that we need to note. Jumping forward with my knight seems to probably maybe make some sense. Does it? Does pushing this forward do anything? I mean, he could just capture, then I capture. Wait. If I push, he can just capture. Capture. It's not good for me. What about jumping forward with my knight into the middle of the board? Promptly, with the idea of my other knight coming behind it. Or casual little push forward. Then if take. Then if he takes, I take, he takes, I take. His queen comes out. Knight to the middle of the board. If you can put a knight in the middle of the board, it is 9 times out of 10 the correct move. This is only defended by this knight and the king, and I have a battery aiming directly at that. So if he tries to run away like this, if he tries to make a move like this, it is a blunder because he hangs this with check, then I take. Ooh, he wants to get fancy, does he? Looks like he's trying to be feisty. That removes one of the attackers of this pawn push. Unfortunately, I moved my other knight. And I think he's just trying to blow open the position. But I don't know if we care. Push. Capture. We bring the rook without any calculation, without thinking at all. This is what I want, okay? Straight up. This pawn push is very, very reasonable. But you know what, bro? I think that I can step over with my king. Like, if something scary does happen over here, I think I'm just 2 moves away from being all right. And now, this is where the real chess is played. We also do have this sacrifice, where if he takes, we hit him with this check. No, this knight is there. I think what we really want is to just open the position. So again, we're not even really going to think about it. This pawn push makes sense, but then we open up this file. And this knight is getting ready to just kill himself. For one, I can jump in and force this knight so I get this check. But the whole purpose of my last few moves have been to aid in this pawn break. I guess we need to be a little bit worried about this, but he's got the pawns in the way. So I'm not actually super worried about it. Okay, here. If he takes with the knight, I'm going to take with the pawn. So we push. If he pushes, we push again. If he pushes, we plant the knight there. Oh my goodness. So if we go and he takes, then I take back. If he takes, I do have this check. No. We're going for this pawn push. I don't even really want to calculate anything further on that. Like, that just seems to be the move to make. I mean, does this... We go in. If he captures, we're good to go. We push the pawn. We're attacking the knight with check. He can't really do this idea. And it looks like one of the major components of chess. Ooh, that's a fancy move. That's a fork of these 2 pieces. So my attack is just arriving first. If you look, I have a pawn literally in his position. His pawns are yet to be in my position. A few more moves and they're in my position, but right now I am really in your position. So, is there anything better than this fork? I mean, I give this check, and that reopens this. And I think we're just going to be able to smash him. He wanted a take back. Never mind, he canceled it. I think we're just going to go for this. I mean, the whole purpose was to open up this file. Now, I don't know if I have sufficient attacking material. Like, if I sacrifice this rook, that is what I'm talking about here. He steps over, I step in. If you block here, I take. Can I sacrifice this rook? I should probably grab this first, no? This, he pretty much has to play this, and then I can hit him with another check. All right, we make a queen. Obviously, this is a move that needs to be played. Now we need to get rid of this pawn, and checkmating is all of a sudden a real threat. He steps back. Well, this check, he steps over. We hit him with this check. He steps back over. We repeat the position for no apparent reason. Sacrificing the rook, the knight just comes. And nothing in my position is being attacked. Like, this pawn push is still not even going to do anything because I can just hide in the middle. And the middle is so locked up because I have literally every single piece in the middle of the board. That's why you want your pieces in the middle. Look what these pieces are doing. So how do I actually win this? I can force this trade of knights with the idea of doubling my rook and attacking this. This check, he just kind of steps over. Then I play this. I mean, this trades some pieces. I'm up a rook for nothing. I think playing it slow might even be the right idea here. Because if I do this, he just comes in with a knight. And I'm not convinced that that's going to work out. I can jump forward with this. We jump forward. We're jumping forward. The general idea here is, for one, I can do this and kind of fork more pieces and shred apart the position. Or I can take, and I'm threatening this. This move seems to make sense with a very simple idea of doubling these rooks. And if you push, dude, I can just take with my knight. If I take back like this, I think we're chilling, bro. Not only that, this knight has not joined into the attack. So if things do open up over here, we take here. We're threatening this. We go here. What is the move? We step forward with ideas of this. I feel like bringing the knight. He takes. I take. Do I have sufficient? Like, he takes. Boom. Boom. He's got this check. But I just step over. And what are you doing? So I think I maybe want to bring this. We're playing this. Now these guys protect each other. This rook in the corner was undefended. And so there could have potentially been like ideas once all these files open up. Okay. He's got a bishop in the middle of the board. Great defensive piece. I mean, to be fair, we can just shred that apart. Like, we can just move here. We can go here, then here. I think we just bring the knight. 2 minutes? Oh boy. Have I been spending too long yapping about nothing? I'm going to show you guys how to actually win a game of chess. He takes. I take. My king is going up. If like nonsense happens. Okay, so he's attacking this. Knight to the middle. Rook over here, I step up. I mean, I can take that with the knight. I can take it with the queen. If I take it with the queen, we're going to just do it. Unafraid. I'm up a piece. So basically, if I don't get checkmated, a little bit unfortunate that right now my... he resigns. I mean, he is lost, but I mean... Okay. Okay. That was fun. Thanks for the game of chess. I really wish he would have finished it. I don't understand what was the reasoning of resigning here opposed to resigning here. Like after this, bro. You still have the same terrible position. It didn't get any better. It didn't really get any much worse either. All we did was equally trade, which favors me, but he didn't need to play like that. So hopefully that was educational enough. And so let's go check this with the computer and just see how accurate everything was. And I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis. And oh boy, I just played a perfect game of chess. I did nothing wrong. And maybe I'm speaking too highly of myself, but look at this gosh darn graph. That is telling the tale of a person that knows what they're doing playing chess, okay? A person that knows what they're doing playing chess against somebody that kind of knows what they're doing playing chess. And so our opponent, 4 inaccuracies, 3 mistakes, 83% accurate, and then myself, 2 inaccuracies, 93%, no mistakes, no blunders, and my inaccuracies, I called them, okay? I said, this is probably a mistake or an inaccuracy, but we're going to castle opposite and see what happens, okay? So sometimes you do that, you know, at the cost of a fraction of a pawn, and you get opposite side castling. So in this position right now, we develop a piece actively. What he is worried about by pushing this pawn is, let's explain this. He's defending against this, because the only reason you push this pawn is if your dark square bishop is out here and you need a place for it to go. You following me? So but his dark square bishop is not ever getting out. He's trapped inside of the pawn chain. So this pin, for 1, his bishop is here. For 2, it's a pin to the queen, so you don't have to worry about it as much. If it's a pin to the king, like a pin like this, my knight's here, that is an absolute pin, and I can't move my knight. I'm trapped to this square until we deal with this bishop. So those ones you got to be a little bit more worried about. When it's the queen, you don't have to be as worried, and his light square bishop is still in here, so he can just defend against it, okay? So this pawn push, for 1, it didn't address the center. For 2, he didn't need to be worried about the square. For 3, he didn't need to put his bishop here. So that is like a lot of analysis on a single pawn push. But okay, it's why he lost. And not only that, it gave me a hook later on in the position. So now my bishop is trapped outside of the pawn chain. So pushing this pawn makes sense so I don't lose my bishop for this knight. Does that make sense? Because if I go here, he can just attack me again. I'd have to sacrifice for this one or let him ruin my pawn structure. Okay, he develops a piece. Now I push this pawn. This is very different. Now I'm not pushing this pawn to prevent this pin, because that's not going to happen anyway. He's got 2 pieces in the way. I'm making a place for my bishop, because I don't want to lose my bishop for a knight for no reason. Okay? Now, we develop another piece. And if we just take stock on how we have developed our pieces thus far in the game, my pieces are developed very actively. They're looking into the enemy's position. Do you see this? This knight is getting ready to jump in the enemy's position. This one, not really, but where else was he going to go? Over here? Come on now. Let's be real. None of his pieces are even attempting to go in my position, other than this knight, but to a square that's defended too much. So this bishop sucks, this knight sucks, this rook sucks, this queen is actually okay, I guess. This rook sucks. This is the only piece that's potentially thinking about doing anything, and he's not thinking about doing much, okay? So I play my first inaccuracy of the game, and I said it in the video. I'm not sure that this move makes any sense, and I'm not sure that the following move makes any sense, but by golly, we're going to have an opposite side castling game of chess, and that's what we got, at the cost of an inaccuracy. So the reason, we're going to go into this in a little, explain a little bit about this. The reason that this is an inaccuracy is because I don't need to castle at all. If we turn the computer on, say he plays the best move, I launch a pawn. Say some more stuff goes on, I put the pawn, let's say we scoot back. He plays a move. I put my rook here. I don't even care about castling yet. I initiate my attack first, and then if I need to, I castle, and if I don't need to, my king is perfectly safe in the middle of the board. So I needed to realize that thinking that far in advance, I spent 10 seconds on this move. I just realized castle opposite, launch an attack. So I didn't actually calculate what's going to happen with when all the pieces start moving around, and then my king would be just fine staying in the middle. I didn't even think about it. So moving the queen is an inaccuracy because I didn't need to castle, and the only reason I moved the queen was so that I could castle, if that makes sense. Okay? Now, we launch a pawn. One of best move in the position. We launch a pawn. My pawn is closer to doing damage than his pawns are, okay? This pawn push serves as a hook. When I push this pawn forward, it sees two things. It sees the knight and it sees the pawn. If the pawn was here and I push forward, he can move the knight and I'm not actually threatening to take anything. So that's why these moves are a little bit risky if you're doing it on the side that your king is on, okay? My pawn is not pushed over here because it would serve as a hook where you would attack two things. And when you attack two things, you have to do something about it. You can't just move the piece away. Okay, we jump the knight to the middle of the board. It's not the best move, but it's one of the best moves. This queen move. I think he's gearing up on an attack. And so what he needed to realize here is my attack is simply going to arrive first. And so this is one of the best moves. It's not the best move. The reason for that is he can put the bishop in front of my pawn advancement, okay? So he has the opportunity to play this, and I can't push the pawn forward. And he's attacking this. So I'd probably have to play something like this, and if he takes, then I got a bunch of pawns in the way. Whatever. He doesn't see it, and we get to push this pawn. Actually, for our opponent, this makes the most sense. Out of all of the moves in the position, that makes the most sense to me. Like, you're getting attacked, so either break in the middle or launch your own attack. Those are the options. And so, look at how passive his pieces are. He's playing defense right now. And these pieces are his attacking pieces, and they're not even really attacking. And so, we push the pawn. We push the pawn. And then right here, what I needed to realize was giving up this bishop for the knight is good because it opens the way for my queen. So I didn't want to lose my attacking bishop for the defending knight for the simple reason of that. But what I needed to realize was take. I still have this pawn push. Say he does whatever about it. If he moves the rook, I take this with check. And not only that, it's defended, so you can't even take it back. If you push this pawn, then I just take this with check. So if you move the rook, I get this, I get this. And if you move the knight, then I still take this with check. So there's nothing he could do. So what I needed to realize, and at the end of some of these lines, so say like he plays something, my queen is the one that is recapturing, getting into the position, and then I'm getting my queen closer to the king. So didn't see that, didn't give up my bishop, don't hate it, and I push this pawn instead. Still a perfectly reasonable move where he is faced with a dilemma. Yet again, I'm looking at two pieces. So if he doesn't take me, I take him. And if he moves the knight, okay, so what I say he moves the knight, then I'm taking you. And now it's defended with a check and a fork on the rook. So my attack simply arrived. And even in this position, I spent a little bit of time thinking, is there anything better? And there is. There's this bishop sacrifice. And the idea is if he jumps in, we still have this. He steps over. We sacrifice again when he steps over. We sacrifice again when he captures. We come. Okay, we do this. And I'm just winning, okay? There's no checkmate yet. In 10 moves there will be, but I'm not going to see that. So I needed to sacrifice the bishop. You don't always need to sacrifice stuff. Like, I mean, like, really, am I ever going to play this for an idea of mate at 10 rather than just, like, forking and getting the rook for a pawn? No. Get the rook for the pawn, bro. You don't got to calculate checkmate in 10 unless it's easy to calculate. So we hop in. Now, I jump in. This is my inaccuracy of the game. The reason, it's hard to even see if you're looking at the board, this is the best move. That is the idea. This pawn is saving the king from dying. Basically, I can push this pawn once that's gone, and I'll have two open files, and you are getting checkmated, guaranteed 100% every single time. Even sacrificing the bishop for not really the most clear reason is a good idea. But stepping back with the queen and simply eyeing this pawn. You can't push forward and defend it. You can't really jump forward and defend it. I'm just going to come in. And so, yeah, because this is defending this, so you can't really jump in doing stuff with this knight. Needed to see it. You step back and attack like this. That was a hard move to see. So this is an inaccuracy because it was mate in 10, and now it's just a +9 position. Whatever. We take with the rook. More active. He pushes here. We don't even need to be worried about it. We double the rooks. This rook was undefended and potentially could get attacked later on in the endgame. He moves forward. I jump forward with the knight. Capture. Steps here. I jump in with the middle. I jump into the middle of the board with my knight. He captures. I capture. He doubles his rooks. And now, in this position, our opponent resigned. It's mate in 6. I don't think that I was going to see that. But what I potentially could have seen is this. Very simple idea. We grab this. Or we can even jump back this way, and then we grab. Or I sacrifice. I would just grab the rook. Look, we don't got to be too fancy when you got 2 minutes on the clock. And so there was an absolutely disgusting line. Let me show you. We step over. He steps over. We sacrifice the queen. Not yet, but we're going to. We give this check. He steps up. We sacrifice the queen. He takes. Check here. Checkmate. Disgusting. Stockfish is an absolute maniac. I would have never seen that. I'm not going to even pretend that I would have seen that. It's maybe not too hard to calculate. Yes, it is. I would never calculate that. Never in a million years. Rook sacrifice to sacrifice the queen to get mate with these two pieces. Never in a million years. You could give me this position, and I would have to sit here for 3 hours before I saw that. So, and you'd have to tell me, hey, there's a queen sacrifice for a mate. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching that video. I hope that that was long enough. Our opponent didn't spend enough time. Or he didn't spend, yeah, he should have spent more time, and maybe I should have spent less. That is how you attack in chess. I played a literally perfect game of chess. The only inaccuracies didn't matter. And so going forward from here, I mean, it would have just been operation cleanup. I would have just given this check. He steps over. I get rid of the rook. You can capture this. You can capture this. It doesn't really matter at that point. My king is safe. Your queen's not doing anything. This rook sucks. This bishop sucks. My rooks are amazing. I'm winning the game of chess. So that's how you attack from the black side of the board. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned anything or you simply enjoy watching me play chess, I'll be making more videos. I'm going to get better at making videos. I'm going to get better at chess. Thank you so much. I love you. You guys are the best. Subscribe. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back at it again with another educational and epic game of chess where we play c6 no matter what. Today we're playing a casual game where we are going to transition into the Caro-Kann. One of the reasons that I always play c6 is, if we look at the structure right now, I don't want to take too long explaining, but this is the Caro-Kann, although it started with d4 instead of e4. And so that's one of the reasons that I like playing c6 no matter what. There is a small % chance where we're just going to accept this. He wants like a super lead in development. It's like, bro, now you're down a pawn. So you're going to have to prove how sacrificing that pawn was actually a good idea. And I can almost guarantee you it wasn't a good idea. Because, like, yes, he does. Check this out. He's going to have 4 pieces developed essentially immediately. I would have been slightly more active here. I think we just go ahead and push. This guy is pinned. I mean, we just scoot back, right? I could just trade, but then he gets to bring his queen out, and I basically traded my bishop for this guy for no good reason. And we're into a game of chess right now. Again, he makes a move that's not super powerful or anything. I guess I'm slightly worried about all of this. I could just jump my knight to the middle. And then I'm essentially attacking this, so he has to trade something off. But you know what? Basic chess principles. Develop another piece before you move the same piece twice. So I already moved this knight once. I would rather develop another piece than move this knight twice. Because if you look at this, he has his third rank stacked with pieces. And so I think I can develop my queen with a little bit of tempo and also laterally defend this again. I feel like this seems to make sense. I guess it's not really with tempo, but my queen is over here. He might waste the move and scoot the king over, even though the knight does defend this. Yes, so the knight already defended that pawn, but essentially, because he has this huge lead in development, I could go ahead and pin this and castle this side, but he's got really easy ideas to advance his everything. So we're going to just same side castle, I believe. I think that seems to make sense. This diagonal kind of sucks, so I got to bring my bishop out here to protect this diagonal, because this is a huge, open, weak diagonal for my king, because I went ahead and have pushed the c pawn. So I might have to waste a move on stepping on over, but I'm still up a pawn. So yet again, we're in this situation where he's going to have to really prove to me that giving up that pawn for the lead in development is what he needed. And what he was supposed to do, I don't want to critique him yet because we're still in the middle of the game or whatever and I haven't won, but when you sacrifice a pawn for activity, you need to be active. And putting your pieces on the third rank on your side of the board is not super active. He needed to be trying to advance stuff forward, okay? Because now, more or less, you know, I'm one move away from being essentially equaled in development. Okay, so he's got some ideas of all this. What if I just jump in? Ooh, what if I jump in like this? And then if take, take. Or I could take this way, and maybe that slightly defends me a little bit. What's better here? Well, I'm getting the sense that I'm going to get attacked on this side of the board, so I kind of like the idea of bringing this knight. And it kind of forces a trade. Like, if he doesn't take me, I'm going to take him. So essentially, this is like forcing a trade. You can move back, but then I'm just going to get rid of your dark square bishop. So essentially, he has to take. In which case, I might bring my pawn over here, where it will sort of aid in another layer of defense. I could even take with the queen. That's kind of interesting, and it blockades this pawn for a second. I mean, taking like this really opens my king up. That's kind of asking for it. And whenever this pawn moves, I mean, okay, we've got options. What am I supposed to do here? What's the correct move? I like taking here. I like taking here. Although it cuts this off. Taking with the queen maintains the defense of my bishop. And what if I take with the queen? Does he just come through and just bop me on the head? Don't know if I love that. We're going to take like this. This guy is now undefended. We will scoot back. I'm not even going to think about it. Obviously, we had to do that. He takes. And which is more correct here? If I take here, I get the open H file attacking this pawn. Not sure that that's really all that great. I kind of like the idea of just taking here. We're going to go for this. His knight can get in and immediately threaten this fork, which kind of sucks. I think potentially we just scoot this forward and we take away the general idea. Here's a few different reasons. I want to defend this square and I want to be able to put a rook here. So we're going to do it. Maybe this would have made more sense actually, because he could grab this diagonal and then my king is kind of cut off. And my queen is now not doing anything by herself over here. So I should probably figure out a way to like get back into the action. And I would be a lot happier if I was able to just like boop, boop, and my king was over here. If my king was all of a sudden on this square, I feel very safe because the knight is really far away from being able to attack me. It's a dark square bishop, so basically this diagonal is what we need to be worried about. I mean, essentially, I don't think that this can be a bad move. We just put our rook on the same file as the queen. Do I step over now? I was mentioning how much I liked that. I think stepping over. I'm not sure if that's actually super accurate or what. Also, my knight is kind of stopping this knight. So what am I supposed to do? Maybe I bring my other rook here. You know what? I think I kind of like this, and then I could even bring my knight back here and like force a big trade over here. We're going to just go for it. The knight could come in. The knight could come in. And I don't... Okay, immediately that is what is going on in the position. If we do see that, though, I can jump in. And then if take... Okay, so we're just not going to allow that. Just plain and simple. We're not going to allow that. You don't really want to be making retreating moves. What if I just bring my queen here? Then I take with a pawn? I mean, then I'm defending it? What do you guys think? These are always like the hardest parts of chess. What about like infiltrating like this? Does that make any sense? It is a retreating move, but it's a retreating move with the idea of getting my queen onto this square. Chess is crazy how easily the queen can just like get over there and pressure stuff on this side of the board. We're doing it. We're doing it. This pawn push, are we scared of it? I'm not 100% sure. But we take away this diagonal. We are maintaining it with my queen. I absolutely hate this knight because it's basically making my knight do the defending. This would be really nice. Just get rid of this. And he could like step back with the idea of bringing this. Okay, so he attacks the pawn. This gets a little bit scary. If I step over, then I'm putting my king in the same diagonal. I could also attack. Like, boom. Defend this like that. Boom, 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 boom. Then we're in just a gnarly endgame where I think it's more or less even. This might coax a little queen trade, but that greatly weakens my position. If I just step over, if we see something like this, I mean, we take. If I take, then he takes back, and then I have time to step over one more time. Then he hits my queen. You know what? This might make more sense. I think it'll offer a potential queen trade. And greatly weaken my position. But the reason that I'm willing to do this move and like greatly weaken my position is if we see this, then okay, but it pushed his queen back. Now we're a little bit worried about all of this. So let's just bring the king, let's just take the time to just scoot the king up. That was kind of the whole idea. We've got like a more or less secure position on this side. My king is a little bit safer. Slowly advancing, I would say. Like, we got some pawns moving forward. But we still got a lot of chess left to play. This is by no means over. Okay, making another weird queen move. I mean, we can't push this yet. Push a pawn. When in doubt, I don't know what to do. I want to trade something. And, like, this is my extra pawn, essentially. Or this one, however you want to look at it. One of these pawns are my extra pawns. And so, 3 minutes. 3 minutes to show my opponent. That opening, you got to be really sure when you sacrifice a pawn for activity. You got to be, like, an active type player. And I just don't feel like, I mean, like, if we look at this position, nothing is on my side of the board. And I also have nothing on his side of the board. I also didn't check our opponent's ability. So it looks like he doesn't play bullet. He's pretty good at blitz. He's far better at blitz than me. I think my blitz rating is like 1700 or 1800. And yeah, so he's pretty good at rapid. Pretty good at blitz. So I think getting low on the clock is not really in my favor at all. Sometimes it's like an advantage. I'm thinking of doubling up. I literally don't know what to do. This was the idea, right? We come in here. We're attacking this pawn. We kind of add some pressure. We pin the knight. We're doing it. We're doing it. That was the whole idea of doing this little queen reroute. Now I've got a piece on his side of the board. It is my queen. Is my queen too far advanced on the opponent's side of the board? Am I just going to get rattled around and potentially captured? Or just ejected? But I am attacking this pawn. And if I grab that pawn, I'm probably going to grab this pawn. And if I grab both of these pawns, then all of a sudden, I've got a 3 on nothing, and my chances of winning skyrocket. So this pawn is actually very important, because it's the defender of this pawn, and these two pawns together are stopping this from happening. Fairly certain we're going to have to trade the queens here. I don't even want to spend any time thinking about this. We're going to trade the queens here. He has to step back. We then trade a rook, correct? We're still playing defense of this knight. This knight wants to go to these same two squares. All of a sudden, this is never going to get attacked by the queen anymore because the queen is gone. If I step over like this, I mean, I feel like that's what we have to do. Here, here, here. I think we're just going to go for it. I'm still a pawn up, so essentially if we can trade the rooks and go into a bishop and knight endgame, I think my chances suddenly are a little bit better. Okay. We can give him a passed pawn that necessarily won't be easy to take or hard to take. I don't know what to think about that. If he jumps in, not even going to question it. Same here. If he goes here, we are just going to take it. I think potentially we go here. Oh my god, 1 minute and 20 seconds. Definitely should be playing faster. I can make a passed pawn essentially over here. He would push forward. Maybe I push here, then push here, then push here. Like boom, 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 boom. And then I can make a passed pawn on this side of the board. That's my new plan. King over here. Passed pawn and bring a king. Okay. That threatens this. Once he gets there, I need to defend this pawn like this. He can eject me like that. Here, here, into the position. He steps back. How do I defend that? Here, here, and then I can move it forward. Let's do that. He jumps in, attacking this, but then I push it forward. Then maybe like go like this and just have like a rock solid position over here. Okay, he steps back. We're going to do this. That was probably stupid. I needed to be like creating a passed pawn over here, and I totally didn't. I want to bring my king. I could potentially go like this as well. Scoot up real quick. And I'm just afraid of his knight moving forward, is the truth. We're going to go here. Allow this check. Step over here. Yep. Yep. And I'm gonna go for this. Boom, boom. Is the game plan. Potentially we trade this bishop off. I don't really think he wants to allow that. 37 seconds. He might try and flag me. Okay, we're gonna trade off a piece. Still, his knight is not getting in. I think I can go for it. Okay, he can push, but then I make a passed pawn. But then he steps forward. I step over. Here, here. Then he would get a passed pawn. I think I need to play this. We make a passed pawn. Check. Here. This with check, and we go for this. You can also go for this, but then I trade it. 22 seconds. Force the knight trade. We get rid of this. He has to stay defending that. We scoot into the position. And we just win the game. He could probably resign here. That was a tense moment. We're going to grab this. He can't defend this. We're going to grab this, and we're pushing this pawn. I mean, we don't want him grabbing that, so we're going to make a queen. I should have checked about these stalemates. I don't know what to do. Trade this. I mean... No! My heart is beating so fast. I hate chess. I absolutely hate chess. I have no excuse for this. No excuse. Skip to the end. I don't know how much time I had left here, but what I needed to do... It's just when you have so many pawns, we trade this. Okay. Okay. How did I not pre-move this? Boom, boom. 2 moves away. And we're going to do a little check the accuracy. I mean, you can't win them all, but dude, I have no excuse. No excuse for that endgame there. Absolutely not. And essentially what won me the game was literally staying equal until this endgame. This move right here where I got an extra pawn, we just played a game of chess and just equally traded everything. Like if we look at this game of chess, it's like, let's see, we trade the knights equally, we trade the bishops equally. More moves. We trade the queens evenly, we trade the rooks evenly, we trade the rooks evenly. We trade the bishops evenly. And then finally, we rush in here and we trade the knights evenly. And what on earth am I doing losing this position? You can essentially pre-move like boom, 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 cut him off and checkmate. And how did I not do that? I should be able to absolutely do that. I'm so sad. But either way, I think that I played that probably like, I didn't make any blunders at all. I think probably like 95 or 96% accurate, I would have to assume. So we're going to check it with the computer. I will see you over there. And here we are in the analysis. And I am absolutely horrible at chess. I had 17 seconds to win that endgame. And if we just get rid of this, we can watch it in real time and just see. Where do we do this? Real time. Like, bro, what am I doing? What am I doing? He's pre-moving, of course. This is a little complicated because, like, how do I move forward? So we scoot the king over. We push the pawn. We now are cutting him off. And, bro, these last pre-moves. Bring the king, bro. What am I doing? Pre-move that. Okay. Pre-move that. Pre-move that. I don't know how I didn't do that. That sucks so bad. Chess is horrible. I should have played with 1 second increment. But, or just played faster. I don't know how I threw that away. 9 inaccuracies by our opponent. 1 mistake, 2 blunders, 87% accurate. The graph shows a tale of I knew what I was doing, essentially. And I played 91% accurate. So I said I played a little bit more accurate than I thought. The reason is because I played a blunder that threw it away to a draw, but it was a very difficult draw for our opponent to find. So it makes sense that that's a blunder. And then even the other blunder was not that bad. I'm still winning after the first blunder. So let's fly back to the beginning. And so like I said, in this opening, you have to be gosh darn sure that you are going to be active. And so if we check the computer here, I'm just going to develop my pieces. Okay. Okay. I potentially like this better or attack my piece, but what I was trying to say is he didn't get super active with his pieces. So now he's just slightly losing. Like, yes, he has a lot of pieces developed. He's castled way before me, but he doesn't have an attack. Like, he doesn't have a great way to put any of his pieces on my side of the board. He can't move this knight because the queen. And if he does anything else, I'm pretty much just going to take. Like, and I don't, anything that comes to my side of the board, I will immediately exterminate it. And so we castle a blunder by me, or an inaccuracy, another inaccuracy, but for the sake of trading off pieces. We scoot the bishops back, trade, get the bishop involved, line up the rook on the rook, so we got this open file held down. If anything bad happens, essentially we're just going to trade off at any point. And so he's just a minus 1.4 for our opponent. And that's simply because he gave up the pawn. Like, we are playing a completely even, equal game, but I have one of these extra pawns. So I know, essentially, if I just trade everything off, I'm going to be able to win the endgame or lose on time. Now, this is my blunder. The whole idea of scooting my queen back to get active was the correct idea. And I changed plans because his queen got a little active. I'm supposed to ignore it. Just ignore it and just allow him to take. That's quite scary. So I go ahead and do this because I liked the idea of trading off the queens, and I felt that I was going to be able to win that endgame if this were to happen. If all this were to happen, he's still a -1 advantage, essentially, but I felt like I was going to be able to win this. So that's what I was going for. So yes, it weakens my king, but whatever. We scoot the king up and then make a couple pawn moves, and eventually I find the correct move, where I still have an exactly +1 advantage for me, or -1 for him, however you want to look at it. We trade the queens, the knight steps back, we trade a rook, and we're just going into a more or less even game. Now this, I could have just pinned the knight, which makes sense. Then you'd have to bring the king, but I would be able to bring my king, avoiding these checks. So I'd probably come here and then move my knight and then scoot in like this, away from the knight checks. And yeah, I didn't see it. So I pushed here. I figured he would jump in and attack, and then I would push forward or something like that. We've got a nice little structure over here, and we start bringing the king. We get hit with a check. We evenly trade the bishops. And this was the draw for our opponent that he needed to see, because he can give this up if I trade, okay? It's somewhere in this position. What looks scary is maybe I'll be able to like do some stuff on this side of the board, but essentially my king is never going to get in on this side of the board, and his king is closer to assisting over here. So any nonsense that happens with these pawns on this side of the board, his king is just way faster to assist in all of it. And even if, let's just make some moves, even if I'm to play this, trying to have a pawn break and get through, because my pawns are doubled, he doesn't have to take. If he takes, then I'm completely winning. If you see, actually, he's winning this position now because his king is going to get in. And forget about this side of the board. I was just making moves. Essentially, if I try and do this, he doesn't have to take. And if I take back, his pawn will just recapture. And we have the same exact situation where my king can never get in no matter what I do. None of, like, this whole line is blocked by either he is attacking it or my pawns are blocking it. Maybe that's an easier way to show it. So we scoot back. We trade the stuff off. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going for this pawn break, and I'm completely winning now. What he needed to realize is he didn't need to take. He can jump forward with the knight. This is the exact position that happened in the game. He could jump forward, and everything that I just showed. Like, if I take, he just takes with the pawn, and it cuts off these two squares, and I'm never getting in. I'm never getting in. He didn't see it, and he did take. Now I can make a passed pawn. So we bring the king. We make the passed pawn. We bring the knight. We get in here with check. And now I'm just completely winning. I could have taken a pawn as well, but I think it's better to just get rid of his last active piece with 20 seconds on the clock. We step in. I think I even could have, like, potentially tried to... Am I stupid? He's got to make a move. Okay, so he's in Zugzwang, and you would have to go over here. So I could have just invested in this passed pawn. Why did I sacrifice it? I took forever to analyze that. I basically figured that I don't know my king and pawn endgames, and I thought that this was unstoppable. So the difference with that is he's still got pawns left on the board. So I forgot that if he has legal moves in the position, this will turn into a queen. Or I will turn something else into a queen. So I think that was the difference. We take, and we push. And it's like, bro, I had 13 seconds on the clock. Why am I taking 1 second to move? I was worried about some stalemates here. Okay, we step away. We're trading off his last piece. And bro, 4 seconds. What did I spend? I spent like 2 seconds on each move here. 2 seconds on each move. I was just so scared of my pawns cutting off so many. The king is like restricted, and I was worried about that. So rough. So rough. And then even here, I could have done it faster and realized we've got unstoppable checkmate coming in. But you know what? It's easier to do this type of checkmate for me. I'm so sad. 1 second on the clock. Should have pre-moved this 1,000 times. For one, king closer. Why am I moving here? My next move is to scoot over anyway. It's hard to watch. It's hard to look at. That was a 8-minute analysis. I hope we grabbed everything from it. Dude sacrificed a pawn in the opening and did not attack me. Basically, if you're down a pawn like that, you gotta attack. And so if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a reasonable amount of time. And then hopefully I will get some better games in the future. I should not be losing on time. At least it was a draw, but it feels like a loss. That was more of a loss than just a downright losing a game. So either way, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time. Oh, hello, and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is taking down a 2100 rated opponent, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So, it's not going to be clean. We're not going to get, no 98% accuracy. When you play an opponent that is much better than you, the accuracy simply drops because it gets harder. Okay? So if I face somebody that is not that good, I can play a very, very accurate game. And so there's going to be a tiny portion of this that. So I've studied this exact opening, and I know that bringing the knight is the best move. But the second best move is to capture and then bring the knight. So I think we're going to go with that because we're going to avoid playing this mainline theory stuff. I mean, if he's going to activate his bishop, I'll activate mine. And we're going to do it in a way where we develop the queen as well. So we have maintained equality thus far. I think we're going to have to go ahead and get my little knight involved. Go ahead and pin this because the other moves didn't make a lot of sense. And let's just castle opposite and have ourselves a game of chess, ladies and gentlemen. So, right now, sorry, my nose is itchy. There's an open file. I would like to claim it. But launching a pawn seems like a more fun idea. This knight can't move yet. And I could get active. Is that stupid? What does he do then? I'm kind of threatening to ruin the pawn structure. So let's just jump forward with the queen with pretty simple intentions of ruining the pawn structure. So now he's got a lot of stuff going on to defend this. He could get out of it like so. But I don't think we're going to give this dude time to breathe. What we're going to do is now launch a pawn. So this guy can jump. No, he can't. Not yet. Capture, capture, launch a pawn. You tickle me. I step back. I don't want to give up the bishop for the knight for no real good reason. So we could sacrifice. Sacrifice, take. I don't like it. We're going to save that option for later, but I still might do it. I might jump in. I could have just maybe left it there, actually. Would have been quite scary. So this is what I'm talking about. We are not going to play incredibly accurate. I'm thinking I just jump forward with this knight. And if he captures, I capture. And then this threat just becomes scary, right? Let's go for it. There's no way that capturing is a good idea. We open up the G file, or the H file, I mean. And so, yeah, taking it is not what he wants to do. But it looks like he's going for this attack. And all I need to do to get rid of this checkmate is this knight here. So how are we going to go about doing that? Well, let's think about that for just a second. This. I think just bringing this knight is what needs to be played here. And then we step forward, and if he takes, we're going to try and bring another piece. So potentially we bring the bishop. I think we just go ahead and bring a knight. No, we bring the bishop because this bishop is defending this square. So if we can get another knight over here, I'm feeling quite confident about this attack. So we're trading off pieces. Still, I don't believe in this capture. We jump over here. We're going for it. We're literally just trying to put all of my pieces in front of this enemy's king. And now the position is getting a little bit tricky. He can't capture. I'm literally just stationing all of my pieces. There's a fork, but I get out of it with check. Right? Here, check, but then he covers. Then I actually do need to do something about the terrifying position. What am I trying to accomplish here? Bro, I just want to get rid of these pawns. So I think one capture never hurt anybody. We're going to just go ahead and play one capture. We're going to push this forward. He could rook sacrifice. And all of a sudden, like, all of my pieces are in front of his king, but I'm not actually checkmating anybody. This is still defended. So I think what we're going to do is rook lift over here. Completely ignore this. Rook lift over here. mean, it's crazy. What about just this? Here, here, here. I think this move is going to make sense. Can't be bad. I'm literally just trying to put my pieces closer to the enemy's king. Then this knight is somewhat of a liability. This knight is pinned, but I can't really get rid of him. I have to trade it for a knight. Check. What do I do? What do I do? I can move this knight, and then this becomes... We fork these guys. You can't capture, it's pinned. If you move here, I sacrifice. And you take, I take. You can block with the queen, but it's checkmate. Oh my god, I think I'm getting in. Bro, this is insane. Please don't blunder this away. He's got this. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. The queen is hanging. That is the most important thing happening in the position. And I have two pieces hanging by this pawn with 29 seconds on the clock. Oh, dear lord, I might blunder. I can also go for this fork. Just check, no? Where are you going? To the corner and I checkmate you. Supported by literally every piece in the position. I may be the greatest chess player to ever have lived. That was a masterpiece of attacking chess. Oh my goodness. Look at all this stuff over here. I wasn't even worried about it. So, was it accurate? The question is asked right now. The answer will be revealed in 5 seconds. So let's scroll down here, click on this button, go ahead and change these scenes. And there we go. New camera. Audio still in. Looks like we're good to go. My head's a little cut off, but we're not gonna cry about it. Okay. So, like I said, the knight coming out is the best move. But sometimes you don't want to play the best move. The second best move is just as good, you know what I mean? And so, we get some pieces developed. Best move. Not the best move, but one of the best moves. Decent. Pawn is hanging in the middle of the board, that's for sure, but it gets sketchy with this check. Whenever the file is opened up, your enemy has castled, it gets sketchy. So to go for this or go for this, there's always this lurking check, and I don't have a lot of pieces to block it. Like, I have to do something like this. So castling, they're calling it a mistake, but for a human, I think it's okay. We bring the queen, we push a pawn, we step back and replace blunder. We step back and replace it with a knight. Now, this sacrifice, don't even worry about what's the best moves. We try and trade off this guy. And we play, oh, not the best move. We throw 3 pieces in front of the enemy king. So we've got a checkmate threat here. We've got a hanging knight. This looming fork is just in the position. And I'm completely not winning. One capture never hurt anybody, and you push it. You stop the nonsense, okay? Capturing definitely made a lot of sense here, but bringing the rook is more forcing. And so you don't have to play the best move, but like if you see, we are attacking this young man. Like, you look safe, but I'm literally just trying to bring all of my pieces and sacrifice something to spread these pawns. And so, yet again, another mistake. Another mistake. And we play this crazy move. Literally everything in my position is hanging. This knight is hanging. Both of these are hanging. Everything is hanging. I just don't care. And he hangs mate in 2. What did he have to do? Step over with the queen. With a check. Oh, dear lord. Check. Oh, and it forces a queen trade. Okay. That would have made sense. And then once the queen's trade, you take this and you survive the attack, okay? So with 2 minutes on the clock, he could have found that. So that was probably like 60% accurate, but we got a 2100. That's all it takes, is just forcing, attacking. It's so hard to defend crazy positions like that where the opponent just like is willing to sacrifice everything. And so that's how you do it. So sorry that was a little bit shorter than 81%. I thought the 47 right here. I thought the 47% was mine. 81% accurate? That's not that terrible. I was losing the entire game, but then all of a sudden won in the end. But like I said, like, in this position, -1, yeah, right. Like, yes, it's -1 for a computer. But for a human, this is scary. This is scary. I don't even know how to draw the right arrows. This is scary, everything going on in this position, okay? I've got 2 hungry wolves and a queen, okay? And we only need 1 hungry wolf, okay? And we brought reinforcements with the rook. And so, wow, that was a lot of fun to play. I'm glad that I was able to execute that for you in low time and everything. He did kind of just blunder mate in 2. The whole purpose of this knight sacrifice was, like, obviously, like, if you take, I'm getting in. So, yeah, this check, away from the knight, everything's defended, I'm not attacking it, check, and you come in with this check, trading the queens. Yeah, that would have been good. Thank you so much for watching. That's how you play attacking chess and win. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed me playing chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 and it's taking forever, so please do it. I love you. I'll get out of here. Bye. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back at it again with another educational and epic day of chess. We're going to do 10 plus 5 because you know what? I'm tired of losing on time and winning positions. That's the truth. So 5 seconds. I want to play a rated game because I need that elo because I'm going to reach 2,000 at some point. And oh boy. First, we're going to start with e4. Then we're going to check this dude's profile. He's terrible at bullet. He's terrible at blitz. He's okay at rapid. So, I hate this opening. I hate this opening. He takes back, and then I throw a pawn forward, applying pressure to the center immediately. And that is about where my opening knowledge stops. But you know what? We can still rock with the basic chess principles of pin the knight to the queen. You know what I mean? I guess we're just going to bring out another knight. It can never be a bad move. You want to first develop the knights before the bishop, but I know I developed this bishop to pin the knight a little bit earlier on. It's not the end of the world. And so hopefully what we can get is a little bring this guy out, castle this opposite side. Hopefully he castles king side, and then we are going to throw the h-pawn in his face. So my worry in the position is scooting back basically to any square is probably okay. This move is probably preferable, but what I'm worried about is this. So I really hope he doesn't try and do this little double pawn advancement, because if he does, he's probably going to try and castle this way. It's hard to say. Something else that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to spend more than like 1 minute, even in the critical moment, because I realize in some of my games I spend way too long. Like one time I spent one of the last games I spent 4 minutes out of a 10-minute game. I spent 40% of my time literally. I guess I could have sacrificed there and that would have been interesting. Okay, so he still is going to go this way. I quite like that. I think we're going to go here so that my queen still sees this pawn, because he could potentially push forward and then remove my knight of the defense of this. So I want my queen to still see that pawn. And pretty much my game plan is move the queen, and castle the opposite direction, whichever side he chooses to castle. And what he has in his position right now is a horrible pawn structure, essentially on both sides. Like his king is not going to be super safe over here, at least until he scoots it over. And the king is definitely not safe on this side. So I really, really, really want him to castle this way, because then the immediate h4 is just going to, like, we're going to push h5. Then I jump into the middle. So, like I said, I still want him to castle. So I am going to just probably scoot my queen up. I mean, he can jump into position and hit me, but I can just exterminate that fella right on the dot. What you always got to be a little bit careful of is the enemy's moves into your position. That's kind of what you need to calculate first. So I need to be aware of things like this, all of those moves. I need to be aware of this knight immediately coming here, and then I need to be aware of this queen coming here to attack. I know that that's still on his side of the board, but the queen is doing some stuff. So you generally want to look. That just can't be a good move. Just can't be a good move. Why? It's hard for me to say. He hasn't castled. Which side is he going to castle? Is he just not going to castle? That's also an option. So let's take stock of some of my moves. My queen is defending this pawn right now. If I castle this way, I mean, potentially that's a mistake. But if I castle this way, potentially also that's a mistake, because this is coming. So we're going to make a move exactly at 8:41 to keep the time. I can give this check. If he jumps in, I take, jump in, take, my bishop gets in. I like that. I can also just immediately jump in with my knight. But then he jumps forward and attacks my queen. I take, get him out of here. So it's hard to say which one's better. I feel like the knight is a little bit less committal. And what it does is it at least immediately applies pressure here. So which move is better? Even like a sacrifice is something I should do. We're going with the knight. We're going with the knight. We might see this, but something important is to just try and I probably spent more time than was necessary on that move, but I felt like it was probably an important move to spend a little bit of consideration on. Because just scooting my queen into the middle of the board, giving up the defense, again, that is a weird move. That is just a straight up weird move. But not horrible. I want a castle. Like, what should I do? Should I just castle, bring a rook here, do something like this, and if he takes, I get a discovery? What should I do? I kind of like the idea of pushing forward here as well, but he might just make me do that. Okay, we're not gonna lose my time advantage. We're gonna station my bishop squarely looking at his bishop. My knight is nice and defended. This knight can't immediately jump in. This pawn is definitely defended by two things, so I'm probably never going to win that pawn. He does capture. And I mean, we're going to take with the queen. It's about time you castle, bro. How about you just go ahead and castle? If you don't, bro, if you don't castle, I mean, like, that's no fun. Here, here, here. He blocks. I mean, if I take, it just kind of fixes his pawns. Not that his pawns are ruined or anything. But you know what? I am sick and tired of this nonsense. I'm castling. One of us is going to castle. And it's going to be me. I was really kind of just holding off because I wanted to opposite side castle. But you don't always get what you wish for. Was that the right side to castle to? I mean, he can scoot up and also match me. Something that I do that he might be thinking is I would be considered a higher rated opponent because we have a 100-point difference, 100 elo difference. And something that I try and do when I'm facing higher rated opponents is castle same side because the attacking and calculation is generally going to favor them. Okay. We officially have opposite side castled. How do I make use of that? I want this H file open. If he just pushes forward, maybe I just try and break it open again. Let's do it without too much thinking. Immediately. Because he has A5, which might be a reasonable move. Taking might even not be all that bad for him. And we want to keep the queens on the board as well, because if you trade off the queens, you are trading off 9 points of golden attacking material. And so I don't want to trade the queens, basically, even if it's favorable for me, because I'm going to try and get some sort of attacking game going on. And I feel like I've been playing reasonably quickly, and we still have the same amount of time. Or not reasonably quickly. I feel like I've taken my time. I've played not quickly. So let's see. And I'm wearing a tank top. Please forgive me. I can bring my pawn. I mean, this attacks my queen. I have to take back. I basically have to take back. If he jumps in, he's threatening this fork. So if I do take, he probably jumps in. So if I take, and then he jumps in, maybe I just scoot my rook over to defend that. I think we're going to do it. And still, if he comes here, we're covered. This is, I'm so okay with. Like, even just trying to open up the position. And then if we trade these bishops, then we're going to be in an opposite side castle game where his squares over here are going to be a little bit soft. So I kind of just want to push forward. And then if he pushes forward, I'm just going to take. And if he takes with this, I take here, allow this, slide over with check. Wait a minute, let's calculate this. Let's not lose on time. I think I'm pushing this pawn regardless. So if he takes, I think I'm cool with it. It just opens up the G file. And I'm basically, I might even try and sacrifice for this pawn. But it would be cool to get rid of these dark square bishops, because this dark square bishop is going to defend all of these dark squares by the king. And I don't have a light square bishop. Okay. We take. Immediate thought, we take. He takes back. We take here. He hits us with this fork. I hit him with a check. Is that a check? Because my bishop is still there. Take here. Take. He comes in. I go here. And he can't take it. He won't be able to take my rook, because if I scoot my bishop back, it's check. He'll scoot in the corner, and then it's checkmate. If you're able to follow all of that. And if he doesn't take this pawn, oh, he can take with the queen. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I'm just bad at chess. I almost said you're bad at chess. Sometimes I'm just simply bad at chess. This is hanging, but I think I want to just slide in here. And go ahead and take any of my pawns, bro. I think we play this. I feel like my king is decently safe. Look at all of the pieces on his king. And look at all the pieces on my king. My king is quite happy. Even if this pawn push comes. Is it the end of the world? This is being attacked twice. So he basically has to do something about that. And what would I suggest? I mean, he can jump back, but then I can take. He'll probably take with the queen. We might just launch this pawn because he can't really ever take it. Because then I just hit him with this little thing. We're just Ahmed 380. We have been taking the exact same amount of time. You are my bro. And we get 5 minutes. So when you get into these end games, they can get a little less hectic than 3+2, that's for sure. And I do play a lot of just 0+1 in my shorts. If you want to see a lot of like fast chess, like check out some of my shorts. None of them are very accurate, but they are definitely entertaining. What are you doing about this, bro? What would I do? What would Jesus do? What would Elon Musk do? Probably just bringing the queen back seems to make sense. Then I push. Then you take. Then I take. Then you take. Then I launch in again. Not sure. I'm not convinced that's the best. If not, I'm ready to just bring my rook. Ready to just bring my rook over here. And I almost don't care about your knight arriving here anymore. Because I want to just like figure out a way to bring my knight. We've got a couple different courses of action. Okay, so he does step back. In between move, we attack the queen. If we see this, I feel like this is just a great move right here. If I take here, if he takes with the king, I mean, I don't have a check of great value. I kind of like stationing my rook here first, because this is still kind of an option. So here, let's do it. Here. Ooh, this. If I take, he can take this with check. And that's no fun for anybody. So here, here. Then I slide over here. I don't want to trade off too many pieces. And my knight doesn't have the easiest route to like participate in this game. But I think going here and him attacking, it's not going to work out beautifully for me. Pushing this pawn forward, I think we have to do this. We're going to check with the computer. I feel like maybe just forcing something like this would have been the correct idea, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay, so he takes with the king. This pawn is still hanging. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea of just pushing it. Then this becomes an idea supported by the pawn. His king is a little bit fragile. And I really just want to push, push. We do this. Where's he even going to go? We go for this. The queen cannot infiltrate. I'm covering that square. He cannot take the pawn. He's not coming to my side of the board, that's for sure. So this seems to make a lot of sense. Then this becomes a little bit weak when I do double. We're going for it. Okay, so he goes for the queen trade. Absolutely, I do not want that to happen. I feel just like, doesn't that make a lot of sense? Doesn't that move just make a lot of sense? My knight is actually doing a pretty good job of defending some stuff. So we're sliding in, still defended. We have ideas of like tripling up and making some stuff happen. Also still pushing these pawns is an option. Attacking here, I don't know how terrified of it I am. But now I kind of should be a little bit worried. A little bit worried about like him just doubling. Then he's just got boom, boom, check, here, defend, and then all of a sudden it's like a completely even game where we're both attacking. But his queen now officially can't leave the guard of this pawn. So ideas like this make some sense. Ooh, that also does kind of pin the queen. Something else in this position. Sometimes you just stare at a position long enough. Okay, so he takes that idea away. I think this will just be completely defended by this. I think I can push. And if you take, I mean, I just take here. So we can't really take. Something like this might make sense. Maintain defense of this pawn. But once I open this up, once I open that up, you are in a world of trouble because your king is a little bit naked. Okay. I mean, we take. Then his rook gets involved. Ooh. We take, the rook gets involved. We pin the queen. So also this is removing the defender of pinning the queen. So if I take this, if he takes with the queen, I give in a little cheeky check first. Or there's this. So I think just taking makes sense. He takes with the queen. Yes. But I have this check first. Where your options would be here or here. Both of which will be followed by this check. Then your options would be defend with the queen and I take the queen, or scoot over here. What did I just calculate? Okay, I think we just take here. Oh! It's defended by the queen. Oh dear Lord. Oh dear Lord. Mistakes have been made. This is the next move. I can maybe... Oof. Grr. I hate chess so much. Why did I do that? My calculations are terrible. I go over here. This is the next idea. Pin the queen. Now I'm just down a rook. And there is no saving me. No saving me. I mean, even if he hangs this, then it's an equal game, and he's going to win that pawn. So even if I get this move, check, check, boom. Check. We attack the queen. He just defends. And then we'll be attacking this. Oh, I threw it away. I threw it. Big blunder. And now, I mean, the king is naked. This rook is not activated yet. He could basically just scoot forward, and then all of a sudden, I'm checkmated just like in 10 moves. Oof. But in this position, we take a deep breath. I realize maybe I'm a little bit bright. Let's cover this light. How's that? Is that better on the viewer's eyeballs? Not a fucking... Oops, I swore. Not a white guy's face. Super incredibly white. And I'm not even winning on time. We need to pray that his bullet skills are not that great. That is what we are going for here. That's the only saving grace that we have. That's a fancy move. If I attack here, you go here with check. I step back. You have no checks. But can he still castle, bro? No, the king definitely made a lot of moves. What am I talking about? This... My knight has no forward momentum at all. What about this? In between move. Now my rook is not under attack. Your rook is still under attack. And that seems to make a lot of sense. But then I hit you with a check. And I essentially trade my knight. I mean, we got to do it, right? We absolutely got to do it. There's no other move. This is a nice fork if he doesn't see it, but we get this. We get in with another check, and he was trying to be a little overtly fancy, but he has to take. Then I take. What are his options? If he scoots this way, I can sort of pin a little bit. Something like this. I do have these back rank ideas lurking in the position. So he comes in with check. I mean, yes, he is just going to win this. I can step back. Bro is blundering it away. I can step back with check, defend the knight with my queen. My king is defending my knight. Dude, why is he trying to get so fancy out here? We slide in with check. 59 seconds. Am I winning if I trade? I think it's completely even. Let's just give this check. Okay. We want my knight here. Potentially this makes sense. I maybe should have just traded the queens. Now things are going to get a little bit complicated. But again, we're really rooting on the fact that maybe he's not that great at bullet. We push this and just greatly weaken my king. Something like this would make a lot of sense. And then just get in. I think we're going to just defend like that. He could just push. Hard to say who that really benefits. If he pushes, if I take here, he pushes here, I take here. His rook gets involved. I could just step forward. He hits me with this check. Things are going to get complicated. Make no mistake about it. Please don't let me blunder. This is going to make an exceptional video. So he wants to trade the rooks. We're going to do it for the sake of just simplifying the position a tad little bit. I think we just take one step closer. I'm not sure what to do. Completely even. One of us is going to blunder. And I've got 27 seconds, so it very well could be me. This check, I mean, I just stepped forward. For some reason, I thought the check was on this square and my knight was defending it, but it's absolutely not. We want my knight in one of these squares. So he gives me the check. I mean, like, straight up, I have to scoot forward. He can't give me this check. He could go ahead and pin me. I mean, his knight can't get forward either. Would love to give this check. If his knight moves, I give that check in a heartbeat. And we just, like, rattle off some checks real quick would be the idea. This whole diagonal. Okay, so he wants to scoot around. I think I'm just going to make a move. Okay. Reasonable. Just move to a defended square. We're going to just try and keep this game going. Okay. Now he wants to go here. Makes a lot of sense. Step forward again. He can't really do it. He goes for it. I'm going to take. If he takes with the queen, I think I win the endgame. If he takes with the pawn, then I have to do operation take the pawn with he has this, but I can take it. He can still easily draw this. Not easily, but he definitely still can. Because this pawn is incredibly weak. My king, to win this pawn, will be in the center of the board. He can do something like this. Here, here, here. I think this kind of like asks for this trade. And then I'm in a pawn and king and pawn endgame, but I'm up a pawn. He can also slide in the middle with this check. But then I have a passed pawn. Take here. We do this. Now I have a passed pawn. He's probably got a fair bit of checks that he can get. I think we're going to step over. We step back. We can push the pawn now. And look how much time we have accumulated. We step back. The pawn is defended. Checks are somewhat defended. Queen trade. He hangs the queen. Tragic with check. That was a serious game of chess. Essentially what we did there was we played on the opponent's weakness, and I didn't despair. When I made that fatal blunder against another player, I would easily lose, but I was 100 rating points higher, so I knew if I just kept the game going on and we just kept doing things, if I make a blunder, he's bound to make a blunder. Although that game was completely lost. Absolutely, I had like a -8 or 9 position. And then he just tried to get fancy 2 different times. Don't get fancy. When you're winning, you don't have to get fancy. You have to get fancy when you're losing. So I think my accuracy for that game was probably like pretty low. So probably like 83%. We're going to go check it with the computer, and I will see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I don't necessarily know what to think of that game. I mean, I came out the victor, but he definitely could have pressed harder. And so I can tell you, the way that I was able to win that game was I made a blunder from a winning position. So instead of going from like a equal 0-0 position to like -6, I went from a +3.5 to a -3. And if it's -3, there's still some hope. There's still some hope. And so the reason for that was his king was pretty naked, and my pieces were on good squares, and my king was generally safer than his. And so, I mean, he still should have definitely punished me. and I had one inaccuracy that literally didn't matter, one mistake that also didn't matter, and then I had 3 blunders that very much did matter. And so one of them, if we scoot a little further down and take a gander at this chart, we can obviously see what happened here when I hung my rook with check for literally no reason. Don't know how I didn't see that, but it is what it is. Chess is hard. And so that was one of my blunders. Another one of them was a crazy computer line that neither of us were really going to see. And our opponent here, 79% accurate, 3 blunders, 3 mistakes, 6 inaccuracies. I'm so sorry to our opponent for him losing that game, but let's go ahead and fly through this. And so I mentioned that in this position you're supposed to take, they take, and then you bring the knight. That's not actually what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just bring the knight, and then if they take, you take back with the knight. Okay, I didn't know that. I've just played this so many times and it's worked out generally okay. Like this game, it worked out generally okay, but it gives you an absolutely equal position after like 4 moves. And so that is not what you want in chess. You want to maintain, you know, your little advantage you start with as white. And so we go ahead, we get the pieces developed. This sacrifice, I checked it with the computer, it does not work. So all of these moves, everything's good. Everything's good. Best move, putting the knight in the middle. This little trade, taking with the queen, was correct. Castling opposite was a minor inaccuracy, but I did it for the sake of the video. And we got an attacking game where our opponent, you know, he definitely got the pressure put on him, and then I blundered it away. But we have an opposite side castling game. I immediately push this pawn. He takes here, and this was his blunder and my blunder. The reason for this, if I take with the bishop, this fork becomes an idea. So immediately, something like this can happen, where I need to like scoot back and defend this. It's just not super great. So what happened in the game? But if I take with the pawn, if he comes here, we just trade and I'm up a pawn. Cool. If he goes over here, we can simply just take this and his knight is kind of not in a good square. He can't really like get back into the game easily other than taking my bishop. And then if he goes here, we can also still just take, because this fork does not exist because my bishop is defending my f2 pawn. And so that is what we both missed. And so I can go into further lines, but there was even like a capture, a queen sacrifice, and then bringing in the rook all the way down here to get the checkmate. Neither of us saw that. It was a crazy computer line. So we keep going. He takes with the queen. I didn't see that coming. And then here's where my advantage starts. I'm supposed to just kind of not care about this pawn because I can push my rook. If he does take, then this fork would exist. I guess it's still called a fork when it's like this. So that would have existed. So I could have tactically defended this pawn and prepped for the attack. And this would still threaten this same exact thing over here. Don't see it, so I push the pawn. We defend the pawn simply. We go ahead and we push forward. He scoots back. I scoot over. He pushes the pawn. I push this forward. And this is where I just completely blundered everything away. What I was looking for in this position was a checkmate. Yes, this would have worked, and what I calculated did generally make sense. However, it's defended by the queen. So what I did didn't make any sense, and I was really looking for a checkmate in this position, but it doesn't really exist because he can bring the knight back and defend this file, and then his king slips out this way, no matter what I go for. So we go ahead and we blunder the rook. It's awesome. And so if you see, I went from a plus 3.5 to a minus 3.5. So it's not the end of the world. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. We give some checks. We're trying to set up some tricky traps. We're going for something like this. His knight can still block, but it's better than nothing. He scoots over. We attack the queen, and he makes a blunder. He's still winning, but he does make a blunder because I get to give this check. He has to do something, or else I'm just going to take you. And so now he's down the exchange. Immediately after this blunder, he makes another blunder, where the best move is to just step over. What happens then? He takes, and I ignore it, but I'm still going to win because I'm going to... I can get in and win the rook at some point? I think that's what the idea was. I'm supposed to just let him grab it, whatever. I could have gone for a crazy attack. But you know what? How is this a blunder? This counts as a blunder. Defending my knight with check. So I guess it just goes to an equal position. I was supposed to just scoot over. He takes the knight. I attack the queen. Say the queen goes back. We just get in. We just get in with a lot of checks. And I win the rook. So I was supposed to see that. I did see this general idea, but not in this position. I saw that this rook is over here undefended, so a back rank check would basically win the rook. I saw it at some point, but I didn't go for it. Can you really blame me, though? Making a move like this, I mean, it just looks natural. I had 1 minute on the clock. But now we have a completely even position. We go for this check. correctly, I keep the queens on the board because it's completely even now, but I'm playing on my opponent's weakness. And so I'm really going for continuing the game, just making the game continue at an equal position and hoping for him to blunder. So we solidify our center, we push this pawn, we have exactly a mirroring pawn structure over here. We take, we get the rooks off, he gives a check, we scoot forward, and we're kind of straying away, but everything we do is still a draw. And so I'm literally just making moves because I had 15 seconds. So sometimes you just got to make a couple moves that keep the position like more or less similar. It doesn't change things too much. So here, he gets a passed pawn, but it's alone. And so I'm going to bring my king, and I'm going to take it. And so we take, he takes, I take, and get a passed pawn. The reason that it's still a draw here is just say this position here. Instead of even trying to defend this, he can just better situate his queen to start attacking me. So like going here, and when I take whatever I take with, you just start giving checks. So what a lot of people do in an endgame like this is I take, and then you take my queen and I take back. You literally don't have to do that. You just accept the pawn is gone, and you keep the queen or the rook on the board. And so I couldn't tell you how many games I win because it's this situation, and I take, and they take back. And it's like, bro, for what? For why? Why did you do that? It was a bad move. So either way, we move forward. Now I have a passed pawn. It's still a draw because with perfect play, he can check me into oblivion. And so, and I will need to maintain defense of this pawn. And I know that it's probably still a draw in this position, but if we just keep the game going on, he's got 14 seconds. I've got 13 seconds. It's only right here. It's only zeros with perfect play, and there's no way that either of us are playing perfect with 15 seconds on the clock. We scoot around a little bit, and here we go. Not too much further away. He gets a blunder. All right, he makes a blunder, and you got to be careful. The queens can do a lot of checks from a lot of things, so they're hard to see all of the possible moves and variations. The queens are so difficult, but essentially, you don't want to allow a queen trade like this. I mean, I saw it in a matter of 4 seconds, and even if the best move he takes, I was going to take with my king, with pretty much the simple idea of, I mean, if he pushes, I can just take, and then I have 2 passed pawns, and I win every time. If what I thought he would do is step away, I step in, and then he's basically stuck with opposition here, where I can stay touching the pawn. He goes for this one. He's going to win a pawn, but I'm going to win both of these ones, and I'm just going to win this endgame. And so, not the cleanest, not the most this straightforward win, but we did get the win. He was rated 100 points lower than us, so can't really blame our opponent there. I think that was enough of your time. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in this video. If you learned anything or you simply enjoy watching me play these games, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm at like 460 now, and so you guys are literally the best. Thank you so much. Leave a comment if I missed some stuff. I'm sure I did. Thank you so much. I love you. Get out of here. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what I'm going to show you is how you can farm elo on lead chess by playing 5-minute plus 5-second that counts as rapid. So I'm going to do a little bit of experimentation figuring out what is the lowest time control that you can play to have a rapid game of chess. And so, yes, 5 seconds for the increment is quite a bit of time. This is the fantasy variation. I believe taking is actually not so fun. And going for this super cagey structure is generally what we want to do because we don't have anywhere good to put our bishop. So we make this little cagey structure. We kind of hope that this happens so that my bishop has a life. And if not, we just play around this pyramid right here. And so what I want to figure out is like, what if you play 1 minute plus 10 seconds? Is that considered rapid? Because I feel like that can really put the pressure on some people because you'll need to accumulate the time. So if I bring the knight, I'm just going to get bonked on the head. If I go for this pawn push, we're just going to do it. I'm not even sure if that's correct or what. We're probably going to walk into this check, but now at least I have a square to put my knight. We bring the queen, defending this pawn. That is the idea. The queen is defending the pawn, and I'm also attacking this. Little defensive attack and maneuver going on by my queen. Queens can do that. Queens are very powerful. So he takes. If this happens, we step forward with a check. Now, I've studied this before. If I step here, I think I walk into this. So we step here. Because if we go here, we get hit with this, and the knight is defended by the queen if this pawn push comes into play attacking us. So it's a little bit of everything. So That hangs the bishop. We're playing a 2100, almost a 2200, extreme toaster. And so he just hung the bishop. Now, I don't have a lot of great squares for my queen. So we're stepping all the way back like so. This is my extra bishop. He is greatly extended onto the opponent's side of the board. Maybe like a capture would actually be in our opponent's best interest now that he's down a piece. This knight is weak, only defended by the queen. Yeah, so this capture actually makes a fair bit of sense. I might just... Because like if I take, then his queen gets in. And that's not something that I love. That's not something that I just am a huge, huge fan of. So, let's just take this knight. That was like, you know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't the best idea. I got both of his knights for one of my bishops. But now he can't castle that way. So it makes me feel a little bit safer. I can also throw in this check first. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Because the only way to block is with the bishop. Or you trade the queens. And if you trade the queens... But now I can step in here and win the pawn. This check doesn't save you. Okay. Now this is coming into play quite quickly. And what I really need to figure out here is how to castle. So we're gonna just play this. The rook is coming. The rook is coming. Make no mistake about it. But I have a lot of different squares that I can put my queen. And I'm happy with all of them, basically. Like I can step back. I can step over one. He steps in with the knight. The knight wants to take here. Is that really your genius idea? Threaten. Or do you want to just trade here? I might just tickle the knight. Ooh, I tickle the knight. You attack me. I step back. If you take, I take. I think we're going to be chilling. We stay protecting this diagonal. Not sure if I even really need to be scared of his knight jumping in here. But now we just jump back. Defended by a bunch of different things, realistically. I'm also attacking the knight, so the knight does have to do something. Such as get in front of this powerful rook, or jump back here and die. Or try and come forward. Okay, or that move is actually probably the most principled. Now this check all of a sudden becomes a problem. And my knight can't even get involved. So is there a way for me to stop this? I mean, maybe we just castle and we allow this check. And we just step forward. And then what? I think we do it. We jump forward, we allow this. If the rook comes, we step back. Is this safer? No. We're doing this. This is going to be the new square for my king. I don't know if I need to castle. He needs to basically do this or I'm going to be able to castle. Attacking with the rook probably is a good idea. But yeah, can I not just step forward? And like, you've got this, but is my queen getting trapped? I mean, I got up a piece, but I lost the ability to like castle and develop my pieces naturally. And right now my pieces are all in the way of this knight. And if I can't move this knight, I can't move this rook. So that's really the issue of the position right now. And when you get a crazy position like this, sometimes breaking with the pawns is like what you need to do. Okay, so he steps forward. What if I jump forward with my knight? That's kind of my immediate idea. I am attacking this. So I jump forward. If you push forward, I take. Then you take, then I take. Don't love it. We need to do something about this knight. I think this makes sense. Also, bringing my rook here makes sense. Bring the rook here and then step back this way. We're doing this. This rook is going to be undefended by the king. But if I just am able to castle by hand, is essentially what I'm going for. We're going to step over and step over. This is also hanging if I move the knight, so that was another thing to think about in this position. But I'm literally going to just, like, step here, bro. Or what if we step back? We step back. He doubles the rooks. No. We're stepping back with the king. He's doubling these rooks, dude, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I might have to push this pawn so I can develop this gosh darn knight this way. And he does still have tactics here like this. Luckily, this bishop is like the most defended piece in the entire position. If we jump in with the knight, I'm literally just stepping over with the king, bro. Like, come and get me. Now I'm castled, essentially. Now I castled. And so because I'm up a piece, I can do that. But we're still fighting back. This might be an equal position, if anything. Something that I could do is just get my knight in the way. And if you attack, I take. Then you take, I take back. You get in. But at the cost of we traded off some pieces. So I think this move, now that it's not hanging this pawn from the queen, this is actually a really good move. Because I can just force the trade. Like, boom. Boom. Right? I jump in. He pushes. I take. He takes. I take. He takes. I take. He can't take this yet. Am I winning that endgame? What if I step back here and then move my bishop up? Step back and bring the knight. That's actually not a terrible idea either. We're stepping back. This might have been better. Putting the knight in the middle of the board, forcing this whole idea. I can still do it. I'm still touching this, but I need to get this knight involved. I needed to get the knight involved. Or put my bishop here, actually. Like, I could step forward and step back. Boom. Boom. If you take, I take. You take, I take. Okay, what is correct? If I go here, he can jump in and I attack. We move the knight. He can pin it, but I'm not going to be pinned forever. Now the rooks see each other. Now I've got my knights developed. His knight in my position totally still sucks. But now I think he's really forced my hand. I think I jump in. If he attacks, I just take. He takes, I take, he takes. And I mean, at the very least, I can grab this. Okay. At least we got the knight out of here. Jesus. Bro, I don't know what to do. If I go here and this comes... Stepping back. This knight hardly defends. Oh my goodness. If he pushes, I jump in and attack the queen. It's defended. If you take, I take, you take, I take. You move your queen, but I got the two rooks from... No, that's not good. Oh boy. This became more than I bargained for. Okay, we moved the bishop. That was the whole idea here. We moved the bishop. "42 seconds. Oh god, this is going to get into a complete crazy position. I'm going to step back, guard my knights like this. I should probably be figuring out how to move forward. This seems risky. We're going here. This knight can jump back in, bro. Like, Jesus. This is being attacked. What are we doing? Here, here. If I step over, if he attacks, I can attack the queen. Here. Here, 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 here. Bro, what do I do? Do we just make a random move? If this knight goes here, at least I'm defended from all that nonsense. Or he takes like this. Okay, cool. We take back. This is now hanging. Bro, how is he just positionally squeezing me down a piece? We step forward. Oh god, this is now hanging. This knight needs to do something better. This is scary. This is scary. I can get out of it with check. Check. Ay, ay, ay. We attack. What do I do, bro? What do I do if this happens? I have to jump in, right? But then he takes. I take. He takes. I take. He takes. Then it's completely even. This move is actually really scary, but I jump out of it with this. Now that's blocked. We step over. Now this. God damn it. He can just kind of check me into oblivion, I believe. Like, he could get a draw if he wants. But he doesn't want. We push this pawn forward. Yikes. The queens see each other. That's the trick. This, I'm sliding over. Jumping this knight over here. Yikes. We trade that, correct? We take that. Oh my goodness. If he comes back with this check. We're playing this. Oh my goodness. Yikes. This is terrifying, bro. He's got this. But I block. I step over. He comes in. This I just take. Bro, if he does not ease up off the gas, oh my goodness. Uh-huh. Okay. Held. This is ridiculous. Playing such a strong rated opponent. He can play this, but I've got this check. If he moves this pawn, it gives up a lot of stuff. I play into the position more. I can take this then. We give a check. Step back. I'm still able to win this. You can get this pawn. We take this. These guys are held. Now there's this. We give a check. Unbelievably, everything is held. Here. This check. This check. I grab this. He's got this. Oh my goodness, bro. We slide all the way back. Literally, bro, this is the craziest game of chess. We step forward. He's got this check. I'm coming over for this dark square pawn, bro. I can take here. Defend. Here, here. Defend that. Take, take. He takes, but I defend. I defend. He's trying to go here. I double defend. I'm putting my bishop there. I don't know if that was necessary. I'm jumping in with this check and winning the pawn. Yes, we give a check. Oh my goodness. If he... we get the pawn. We got the pawn. I still need to hang on to a bishop and a knight. We're given this. I need to win his pawns now. Check. But we're held. He can get a pawn. What I want to do is not lose my pawns now. And we hang out on this diagonal. I need to attack this pawn. We attack the pawn. Just check, not scary. We get the pawn. We come back and defend against this pawn. As long as his bishop does not... I could just sacrifice here, but that seems a little bit sketchy. We step like this. He can step out of it. We're stepping forward. This is my idea. Yes. We now have a double attack on the bishop and this pawn. We take the pawn. And that's it. We're going to figure out a way to just get rid of this last god darn bishop. How long of a game of chess was this? I see why they classify this as rapid. Dude, that was like a 20-minute game. Oh my god. He said, good game. I'm going to let him know after this to come watch that game of chess on YouTube. But, oh my God. Dude, that was actually so much fun because he essentially hung a piece. I was up a piece the entire game. And then he's just better at chess than me. Like, boom, he hung the bishop. And then after this moment, he, like, kicked into high gear. And, oh my God, I was totally winning. But, man, that was not easy to win at all. Like, oh my goodness. That was like playing knight odds against somebody much better than you. And so look, I mean, he's like 2200, so I defeated a 2200, so that might be my highest rated victory ever, question mark? I don't know. Definitely on this account. So either way, we are going to check that with the computer. That was a lot of fun for me. I hope it was fun for you guys to watch. So we're going to go check it with the computer and see how accurate was it and how could I have done that better and what can we learn. And here we are in the analysis. And oh boy, forget everything that I said in the beginning about farming elo, playing less time, because that was the same amount of time as a 10 minute with no increment. That was like over 20 minutes, I feel like, the whole game. So arguably it's more intense than 10 minute versus 10 minute. I think that this is better with the increment because nobody loses on time in the end. And so flagging somebody at the end of a 20-minute game of chess is not the way you want to win. Like, getting into crazy time scrambles is more fun. And so we have the Caro-Kann fantasy variation, something that I don't play all that often. The best move is actually to bring the queen out, but this is very, very solid. Taking just gives them the center, and it can get quite scary quite quick. So this move works. It is good in most of the Caro-Kann lines, but apparently not in the fantasy variation. So this move is immediately not good because, and then also this. So this is, the fantasy variation of the Caro-Kann is apparently very different than most other lines in the Caro-Kann, because bringing the queen out here to b6 is a good idea, and then also the c5 pawn push is generally a good idea. In this line, apparently not. So we bring the queen out, and it's a blunder. It's a blunder. Even though it's only less than a pawn, a blunder. Whatever. We take back. Right in this situation, we put our opponent in the hot seat. If we come here, we just get hit with this pawn. Then our queen is hanging, this is hanging, it's attacked by two things. So the only move for me to stay alive, essentially, is to play this. Now I threw the ball right back in our opponent's court. If he pushes this pawn to defend the knight, this is hanging. If he moves the knight, then this is hanging. So the only move is to scoot forward with the queen, and then if I take the knight, he takes the bishop. If I take the bishop, oh, then I hang the queen. Duh, the queens see each other. And so the only move was here, and we go into this line. Then the knight comes back, and then we're just in equal position. We're not going to go into any further computer lines. There we go. He hangs the bishop, and now I have. Why did it go from -4? Never mind. Whatever. Yeah, I guess you got to let the computer think. So either way, he attacks my queen. He hung the bishop, and now I am completely winning. All I have to do is win. And so unfortunately for that, we have another 10 minutes of this game to go, and I need to win. So I trade this off because this bishop is kind of weak. It's an undefended piece. So I literally just take for this knight. He can't castle this way. If he castles this way, it's kind of sketchy. And so also I have the idea of check and winning the pawn. So he takes back. I give this check. If he blocks with the queen, I trade the queens. If he blocks with the bishop, I take the pawn. If he trades, I'm happy. Unfortunately, he doesn't trade the queens, so I got to play more chess. So we go here. The knight jumps in. Great square for the knight. The only way I can really get rid of it is by pushing this pawn. So we do so. But he just leaves it there because now he is attacking my queen. So I scoot back. Then the knight jumps back. Now I don't have a dark square bishop, and my knights aren't even developed. So his knight arriving here with check actually kind of sucks for me. And if you look in this position, he can push this pawn, and he's not even losing by that much anymore. He gives me the check. I step up. He steps his king up with the idea of bringing his other rook to the party, okay? So I bring my rook, and then I believe I ran. I did a little king runaway technique because I realized this pawn is hanging for the queen if I move my knight. So this whole idea of jumping here to attack this potentially didn't work because I might just get checked into oblivion. And so we scoot the king over. Now this pawn is defended. I have essentially castled by hand, although it took like 7 moves. And now my knight can go to the middle of the board if I so choose. So I don't so choose. I scoot my queen back. Now I have a square for my knight because my knight could not develop. And if my knight can't develop, the rook can't develop. So I'm just slow and steady, slowly trying to just get my pieces into the game. I know that I'm supposed to be like attacking and taking the initiative, but if I just slowly play and develop my pieces, I'm up a piece, so I know that I'm going to be able to win. And not only that, we have the same colored bishop, so it's easy to trade those off. If it's opposite colored bishops, I got to be a little bit worried because they're never going to trade. And so we jump in. He jumps back. For one, I just have this fork. It's not even the best move because there's all these different tactics going on here. So stepping back, mistake. You don't want to be taking stepping back moves, but I'm still winning, so it's actually okay. We reposition my bishop. Now it's on a good diagonal. It's out of the line of all this stuff. And this move was what I was scared of. He attacks this knight, and I jump back. Again, I'm supposed to jump into the middle of the board. Like, okay, either one is fine. Now the computer doesn't know which one's better, so we step back, fine. Putting my knight here would have made a lot of sense. It protects from all sorts of nonsense over here. But I, for no reason, throw this pawn to get rid of a pawn to open up my king. Why did I play that? I guess because I had 10 seconds on the clock when I played it. So that means I had 7 seconds when I played it. And if you look at this position, I have 12 seconds. Our opponent has 1 minute. And dude, we have a lot of moves left. So that 5-second increment just extended this game into infinity. So for one, he could have just taken, and all of this is still a very scary idea. Because if you see, he's got 3 pieces looking down here, and I've only got these 2 defenders. So we step up. These pawns are now defended by my king. He jumps back. I scoot my rook 1 square. This is now hanging because there is no king. The king is no longer there defending it. And he could have got a draw here. Is it easy to see? No, because normally you go back and forth on these 2 squares to get a draw, but he could have done it like this. And what am I going to do? I can't get in the way of anything, so he could have got the draw like this. If, after this check, if I step over, I'm going to lose, because this knight is coming in, and I can't stop this checkmate, other than giving up a knight, and then he takes, and then I can, like, wiggle away, but it's not good. So he could have got a draw like that. Maybe he didn't see it. Most likely what our opponent saw here was I step back, he gives this check, and I block with the knight. And it's still a draw, because now my position kind of sucks, because now this knight does arrive, this rook is going to arrive, and I got to play like super defense, even though I'm up a piece, because this is my extra piece, and it's not really doing a whole heck of a lot. And so he could have gone for this. This was the pivotal moment in the game. I screwed up. Okay. Let's get back to where we were. He doesn't see it, and he brings this rook, which is actually like, I get the idea. He wants a rook over here doing something. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense, and this looks like the fastest way to do it. You could have also gone this way and then moved the knight, and potentially that would have been better, but either way, I see. He sees there's no checkmate like this, and he didn't see the back and forth draw like this. It's a little bit different, and he probably saw I get out of it. So either way, that's enough talking about that. We push this pawn because it prevents the rook from going to this square. It also prevents the queen from getting out. I don't know if I want to trap my queen 2 squares away from my king, but I sure did. But now we jump back with the knight. The queens see each other, so I was kind of hoping to get a queen trade in this position. The problem with what I play here next, for one, I can just grab a pawn and say, you're not checkmating anybody. Although this is coming next, I guess I jump back and defend. It wants me to just grab this pawn and be brave. There's not a chance that I play that. I guess it did defend this idea geometrically, but whatever. I'm not taking a pawn. I'm defending my king from getting checkmated. So I play this, and it's a blunder that draws the game, because after take, he hits me with this check, and no matter where I go, he gets the bishop. And now it's equal. Just everything is equal. I guess I can grab this pawn or trade this off or whatever, but he's got the bishop for my knight, so actually he's probably doing better in this endgame. Plus, he already has a passed pawn. So none of that happens. None of that happens. He didn't see the tactic. He steps back. I bring a rook. I bring the knight. Now everything is looking at everything. I literally brought all of my pieces to surround my king. Look at this. My king is hiding amongst all of my pieces because I was not checkmating anybody. So I went full cocoon defensive mode in this situation. So he trades off a rook. He trades off another rook. And then he loses the knight. So this was just terrible. If I was him, seeing that I had 20 seconds on the clock, I just play this and just like lose this instead of the rooks. I don't know. You know, the more pieces you trade off, the worse you are. So we trade off these pieces. Then in this situation, probably save the knight. Don't let the knights trade too. Absolutely don't trade off the rook. So now we got rid of the rooks. And the more pieces we trade off, the more powerful this extra knight is going to be. And now I have 2 extra knights. So now I just have 2 knights for nothing. And so he can give me a lot of checks. It's kind of scary. My king is not the safest queen. But we step over here. And essentially we're attacking this. We're defending this. We're defending this whole 7th rank. We're essentially almost forcing a queen trade. And he steps over here. So I'm supposed to just be brave and take. And wherever the king goes, I win this. But then you win this with check. I step up, you'll win this pawn. But I have 2 knights. Going into a line like that is scary to do because I don't have much time, bro. Okay. I don't have much time. So I put my bishop into a better square. This is defended. Bishop is better than your bishop. You can't really trade them. So now I start bringing my knights. I literally have 2 extra knights. So my idea here is to wiggle around enough to have my knights be doing something. I put the queen here. This is literally just like to negate his queen. He scoots back. I was kind of hoping that this idea would work, but he blocks with the bishop. I can win this pawn. I can also threaten this pinned piece. I can also take this pawn. Could have done a lot of things, but I'm like still in defensive mode, so I'm not trying to grab pawns and attack pieces and grab other pieces. I'm still like worried about getting checkmated or draw it, and I got 16 seconds. So we're kind of just shuffling around. We bring the knights back. The knights are protecting each other. My king is really safe at this point. So we take here. We give a check. He steps forward. I'm supposed to sacrifice or give this check. Not a sacrifice. It's defended. Whatever. We step over here. Check. Check. We win a pawn. Okay? Now he's only got 1 passed pawn instead of 2. It could have been scary. I like my decision there. We slide all the way back. Our next focus is to get rid of this pawn. So we put our queen in front of it. He doesn't trade. Now we're going to bring the king. All these checks, you're not going to checkmate me with just the queen. Plus, I've got all of my pieces sort of defending it. He comes back, and all I needed to calculate here was, after this capture, does this pawn promote? No. I can cover it with the bishop. I can cover it with the knight. And then I can put a defended piece on that square. So that's what I did. It's defended. There's nothing he can do. We defend with the knight. I literally put this piece here because I'm scared. Okay, I got 9 seconds. I'm scared. So now I grab the pawn. And all we have to be worried about here is, like, say in this situation, he just takes here and I take back. We have to be worried about losing this pawn. It's not really going to happen because he doesn't have a pawn on either one of these files. So he can't really trade it for a pawn. But that's all we need to be worried about. I guess he could have done it like a different way somehow. I don't know. Whatever. All I need to be worried about is not losing both pawns. I can lose one, but I can't lose both. Because then I got to checkmate with the knight. The knight and the maybe 2 knights and a bishop. And I've done it before. I learned how to do it, but I don't know if I could do it on command with 15 seconds. To be fair, I haven't actually done that in quite some time. So we step forward. Finally, we attack a piece. We get the idea. We threaten this. Check. Here. Bro, I made this take way more moves than I needed to. Finally, we attack the bishop, and we are attacking this pawn. So, that was and then it's over. After this, it's over. He loses the pawn. He resigns. 84 moves. 84 moves. That is how many moves it took me to defeat a higher rated opponent with an extra piece. That was sensational. Thank you so much if you learned something. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned something, please subscribe. That was a blast. So now I beat a 2200. We'll round up. So thank you so much. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. You guys are the best. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, hello, and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is playing a 3+2 against this 1767 opponent. And what we're going to not do is lose my light square bishop. So we're going to scoot forward. Please don't go for me. He might just do that. Okay, we're going to capture. Step back. I want to preserve my bishop pair. And what we're going to do is the opening, like, how many moves are we into the opening? And I already don't know what's going on. Like, boom. How many times have I seen this position? I don't know. Not that many. We could check after the game. But it's actually ridiculous how much people study openings. And it's like, you know, I feel like the amount of openings you would have to study to memorize and stuff, like, understand the general ideas. We're tickling this because the pin is scary and my bishop's outside of the pawn chain, and I don't have another knight to break the pin. So we're just going to chase this guy around the board. We're chasing him around the board. Okay, so we're going to go... No, we're not. That's gonna hang my knight in one move, so we're not going to go ahead and do that. I think I'm scared. So, I mean, I could go for, like, this. Did my mouse just disconnect? Well, gosh darn it, I'm going to need this mouse to play. You guys see this nonsense, bro? We're playing a Blitz game, and I'm getting 15-second. Okay, so what can I do? I can jump in, and then he takes, and then I take. I don't know if that's actually good for anybody. We're stepping forward. He can still kind of go for this light square bishop. And I really like having a bishop pair. So there's this, pin my queen. But let's just do it. Unafraid. We'll castle this way. We castle. Go ahead and attack my queen. I step over and attack your pawn. It's like we're playing a game of ping pong. You pass it to me, I pass it right back. Now I'm attacking your pawn. This bishop is doing a tremendous job defending the position over here. This is a safe and happy king. That is just about as safe and happy as a king gets. My king, in between jobs king, is what he's looking like. So I can grab that, correct? There's this fork, so he just defended that tactically. So instead of getting complicated, we're just going to trade that. Then we're going to step over. This is defended. We got a lot of action going on with these queens right now. Make no mistake about it. And this guy's kind of pinned. Okay. I can step forward and go for this. Now he's probably going to be a little inclined. I don't think there's anything fancy here. Bro, you better calm down. I can push this. No, I can't. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Oh, Jiminy Cricket. I think we got to go for this. But then he pushes here, but then I'm going to push again. Okay? I have too many games of chess I've lost by trading. So we're going to step back. I like maintaining this beautiful diagonal over here. Okay. Here, 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 here. Let's go for it. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. How am I down an entire minute? Don't ask me. I could also try to do this, but I think trading off everything is going to be in my best interest because I'm losing on time. Yes, that is what I think. I can also go for the same idea over here. But it's completely equal. Completely equal position. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's probably thinking to himself, man, I have double the time that this guy has. I'm absolutely smoking him on the clock. Okay. 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 I think we're going to be chilling, bro. We are going to be chilling. Go ahead and try. You could step back. So one thing you want to do in a situation like this, where we're going to threaten checkmate. Checkmate in 2. Will he see it? The answer is most definitely yes. And he will step over with the king, or he will push this forward. It's hard to say which one he's going to do. He could even play this. Did he just blunder mate in 2? Queen sacrifice, mate in 2. Let me just look at this for a second. Do you think he noticed? I'm still flabbergasted. I'm unsure that this is actually going to win. Is there like some crazy way he's going to get out of this? You got me just absolutely shook. How many times do I get to sacrifice the queen for checkmate? I know this is the most common queen sacrifice out of every single queen sacrifice that there ever was, but you don't get to do it very often. So, very proud of myself for that one. We got it. 5 minutes and 50 seconds on the board. We'll call that a video. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Like, comment, subscribe, tell all your friends about me. Kip's the best chess YouTuber you've ever seen in your life. He's so good at 1900 level chess. So, and he picks on 1768s late at night when they're tired. So thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you guys in another one, or I'll never see you again. It is what it is. Thank you so much for being here and having this moment. with me and hanging out with me tonight. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, day. I hope you get a beautiful girlfriend. I hope you hope that for me as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's video, we're going to do what we always do. Smoke our opponent in a 10-minute rapid game. And I'm going to show you how to play chess. And I'm going to learn a little bit. You're going to learn a little bit. We are facing a 2000 on the dot. And I am 1898. So hopefully this can be a video of how to not get scared of high-rated opponents and absolutely destroy them. So we're going straight into the bishop's opening. First things first, we always check. Where are they from? Armenia. He's bad at bullet. He's okay at blitz. He's great at rapid. So what we want to do is keep an equal position and go towards the end game where hopefully he slips up the end game. So we just kind of want to... The chances of me getting huge winning chances right off the bat are slim to none. So what we're going to do is just try and keep an equal playable position and then just keep things going. And then hopefully once we get to a little bit lower on the clock, we'll be able to seek the advantage. Okay, so this right here is something that you're going to see in pretty much every game. Okay, so we're going to lose the light square bishop. That's cool. We were trying to avoid this pin. Now we're going to lose the light square bishop. And like a good chess boy, he doesn't actually take. He can do that whenever he so chooses. And so my options are basically as follows. I need to develop my last minor piece. I can go to all these squares. Sorry, these ones. What's the best one? We're gonna go here because this pin is not actually a pin. It's basically just asking to be moved. Now the problem is if I push this pawn, he will then feel so inclined to capture and ruin my pawn structure like this. So we're just gonna move my queen up a tad bit and see what happens. He's gonna capture here at some point. You know, I'm not convinced that that was a good move. We're gonna go ahead and just pin that, and hopefully we'll scoot around. If he pushes this pawn, it's greatly weakening his king, so I'm quite happy about that. Now he chooses because he didn't know what to do over here. He's deciding, should I push this pawn or not? And this capture was going to happen one way or another. And so what's he thinking next? One other thing that we need to be a little bit cognizant of is this sacrifice, removing the defender of this knight. Because right now only this pawn is defending the knight. And so if there's a situation where maybe his queen is attacking this sacrifice is something you always you got to be a little weary of. Okay, so he does decide to attack. We're going to scoot back. We also have a little luft for my bishop. And this is always a good idea to push one of these pawns generally. So you have a place to go. We're going to scoot back. His knight's going to go here, and then we're just going to capture. And basically, we're going to absolutely get attacked. Because right now, he's probably going to take with this pawn so that he has basically 4 pawns pushing towards my king. The thing that's really nice about this position for me is our kings are on the same side. So a pawn storm on this side of the board is going to be a little bit dulled down by the fact that he also has a king on this side of the board. I'm sensing that this knight is never really going to get into the action over here. So I'm thinking just bring this knight. Try and bring one more piece to the party over here. What's the game plan? He also has this pawn break. So I feel as if there's going to be a lot of tension on the king side of the board. So he's going for a pawn break in my best interest. If he takes back, this suddenly becomes weak. We're just going to go for it. Let's just not spend a million years. We're up 30 seconds on the clock. I think this is still a more or less equal position. One thing you're going to find in many rapid games of just any game of chess is in the opening, there's just a multitude of good moves that you can make. And so basically anything you do is going to be still equal. If I do this, it kind of allows his rook to get into the party, but I'm just not scared. Oh, his rook can't come in. My knight's defending that. So he's going to take back with his pawn. This guy is super weak, so I'm thinking maybe we scoot the queen up like this. Maybe we really grip down this square. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not 100% sure what to do. You know what? We're gonna go here And in some positions, I can take, and the queen is not defended. And I might just like vacate, I was vacating the file for my queen. So probably what we'll see is like a developmental move of this bishop. I'll probably put a rook onto the open file. And I'm still sensing that this is a completely equal position. It's hard to say. My king I feel like is safer, but his prospects for attacking are far greater than mine. He also has the pawn breaks in the position. This is my pawn break, but I don't really have it because it just hangs this pawn. So this pawn is very, very important. He could even like scoot back. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. I probably want to get this knight involved. So vacating the square for my rook to come over here. So the question is, which rook? I feel like the king side of the board, this whole side of the board is where all the action is going to happen. So I think I'm just going to bring my rook into the party. We're still kind of waiting for this developmental bishop move. It definitely needs to happen. And he has the bishop pair. So actually he might have a slight advantage over me. The only thing that's favoring me is not really a closed position because the pawns haven't really been advanced. Okay, so this is just an immediate threat on this. There's really two ways that I can defend that. Scoot up or scoot over. Or push. And if captures, captures. And then this is defended. No, I can't push because it's just this. Okay, so what's the better move? Up or over? I feel like over gives me options to bring the knight. We're going to scoot over. The reason for that is I have a place to put my knight. So if something crazy, like we really get attacked on this side of the board, I can quite quickly move my knight here, push this pawn, bring my rook over here, or even bring my other knight, and then I've got my king nice and safe. But somehow I'm getting attacked. I started with the white pieces, and it is absolutely our opponent here who's applying the pressure to us. And so our friend from Armenia is not joking around. And the complete queen side of the board is just dead. Okay, so he makes like kind of a waiting move. This rook is straight up doing nothing. So we're going to scoot up. I don't see any immediate threats or anything, so we're just going to try and make like a slight improving move. If I can double my rooks, then, there's really no way into the position. And look at these bishops. Look at these bishops just eyeing my entire position right here. And I'm not even sure, once I double the rooks, what am I going to do? All of the important squares are covered by the bishops, so I really have no infiltration. It's just not going to happen. Okay, that move, needed to happen. And if I rush into this end game, where boom, 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 even his queen could take, we're just going to do it. Straight up, we're just going to do it. Maintain an equal position. Maybe this isn't how everybody wants to play chess. Maybe you want to be like a super powerful attacking player. But sometimes the way you win is just make moves. Just easy moves. So again, we have a checkmate threat. If I scoot over, he could sacrifice, but then I take, and then his rook is defended. So I think we're going to just scoot on over. This is now hanging, per se. Oof. We hang a pawn in the middle of the board. Excellent. Excellent form. Now, what do we do about that? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I am a little bit dry on ideas. We can just go for a queen trade. I don't think that that's going to favor me in any type way, being down the bishop pair and down a pawn. So let's see. I really don't know what to do here. And I don't think that there's any sacrifice in the position. And I'm slowly slipping away on time. So we're going to just scoot over. Probably he just goes back. But now he's got a pawn. And he can move the queen and push this pawn. And then he's just going to be in my position. And so... I mean, I just take, right? I just take. I don't think that that made any sense. Am I stupid? If I take... This is defended by the queen. We're just going to take it. Not even going to think too much. And he hangs the queen. Okay. Correct. I don't know what that was. He was applying the pressure. Absolutely, he was applying the pressure. And unfortunately, it's me calling the shots now. And so what we're going to do is rook into the position. We're attacking this pawn, we're attacking this rook. I can also throw in this check first because we don't really want to see this pawn push. So let's just throw in the check. I mean, I've got a queen. If the king scoots this way, we just trade off the rooks. And so now I'm just going to show you how to convert a completely winning position. Is there anything that I need to be really, really scared of? Rook into the position. He kind of has to scoot back. Sorry about that. And then I'm just going to grab this pawn or grab this pawn. And then he blundered. Completely blundered. Well, the dude is not very good at blitz and bullet. So I think that's kind of what happened. He just rushed into it. Whatever he calculated here, like he just didn't see that the queen is defending this knight. So like I mentioned earlier, you can remove the defender of the knight, but I had a second defender. So it's defended twice. So that whole idea just did not work for our opponent. And so there we go. I beat a 2000. So now I have regained my elo. I am now 1900 again. So this is my second time being 1900, or actually my third. I got 1900 lost, and here we are again. But now that was plus 11 because I beat quite a high rated opponent, and so now I'm quite high. So definitely there was he was the one applying the pressure. So let's just check this out with the computer and see how I could have defended that position better. All right, I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I'm not quite sure what to think about that game. I'm just happy to be back at 1900. It kind of more or less was an equal game. Then he was applying pressure and I had a losing position, and then just a catastrophic debacle where he just loses the queen for no reason. I don't know how a rated 2000 player can do that, but it is what it is. I played 90% accurate, 2 mistakes, 1 inaccuracy. One of them is not really too big of a mistake in my opinion. And then 4 inaccuracies, 4 inaccuracies and 2 blunders by our opponent. 71% accurate. That is not good against a 90% accurate game. And so the game itself was completely even. And so in this position right here, just one thing that you need to know, if you ever, I don't know what type of openings you guys play, but if you play this opening, this is something that you need to be aware of. So you need to play d3, because if you don't play d3 and you develop the knight, they have this sacrifice, you take back, and then there's this fork. And then you scoop back, he takes, you take, and then all of a sudden it's just in a completely equal position, but your pieces, it's just not good for you, okay? That's all you got to know. So you don't want to ever go into that. It's just not good. So when the knight comes out, you have to play d3. This defends the pawn in the center, but the bad thing about it is then this move just becomes super, super quick to grab your light square bishop. It's a completely even position, so there's no need to be really scared about it. Only after we defend the pawn in the center with d3, then we can play knight f3, okay? They castle, we castle, he pushes, I push my pawn to prevent this pin, although this did open up some sacrificial ideas over here where he can lose his queen for no reason. We scoot back. Then the other thing is this situation of grabbing my light square bishop is not going anywhere anytime soon. So the appropriate thing to do is like prep the push in the center. He's like, you know, prepping this, and then he's going to have 2 pawns in the center. So this is a great understanding of the position. Like, there's no need to grab this. A lot of beginner players would go ahead and grab this right away. But what he's really hoping for is I push here, then he captures, then I have to capture back with this pawn. And capturing with this pawn and having this pawn structure is way worse than capturing this way and having this pawn structure, okay? Because I would get the open A file, and I would be capturing towards the center. So if I push, capture, and capture this way, this becomes weak. This isn't the greatest open file for my rook. So those are all of the reasons why we're just making moves. Now here, I think he didn't really know what he wanted to do. Did he want to push this pawn? So he just cashed out on this capture. Excellent move by our opponent. Then this is one of my inaccuracies. I can take here, he takes back, and then I capture. And I basically sacrifice the knight for 2 pawns. I weaken his king, and I have a lot of ideas of getting in. The reason I didn't go for that is the dark square bishop is inside the pawn chain. So he can just break the pin immediately. So what you generally want to do is sacrifice, take back here. The pin is active, and then you bring your queen to apply pressure, and he has to defend with the king, and then you figure out a way to just apply pressure to the pinned piece. The reason I didn't go for that is because if I capture, like, boom, 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 there's no pin. So and there's no easy way to get my queen in here without making a couple moves. And so the computer's saying that it's good because I just get rid of these 2 pawns and now I have attacking chances. The reason I didn't go for it is because I'm never going to win the pinned piece. And so hard to say from a human standpoint to ever make that sacrifice. The only time you ever want to make it is, say, the pawn is here, he develops the bishop, and then he pushes the pawn, and the dark square bishop is trapped outside of the pawn chain, okay? So, like, there's pawn here and the bishop here, and he can no longer come back to break the pin. Okay. And so we scoot back here, we take, and so what I was supposed to do is just break in the center. Why did I make a knight move to prep this? It was already prepped. I've got it defended with 2 pieces. It did not need to be defended by another piece, so that move didn't really make a lot of sense. Then we go for the pawn break, but I'm a step behind. It's still a completely even position. I go here, and then I have a slightly losing position. But what I'm supposed to do here that I completely missed is there's this attack is definitely the thing on the board. This rook and this bishop is going to take my pawn, and if the bishop takes my pawn, then the rook comes in here with check, and then I just lose the game. What I was supposed to do is be complete Mr. Stockfish and just completely disregard that attack. I'm supposed to take here. If he takes back with the queen, I grab this, and we just allow this. Is what it's supposed to say? Yeah, I just allow this, jump in with this crazy check where he captures back with something, but that opened up the line for my queen. Was I ever going to calculate any of that? No, there's not a chance. We sacrifice the knight, he takes back, I get the rook, he gets the pawn. I then sacrifice another knight so that I can see the bishop and get rid of all of it. Really, really hard to see. So that was my inaccuracy. I don't hate it for not seeing that. We're shuffling around. I'm not sure what to do here. I guess this would have made a lot of sense. I can attack the queen and also defend this. Okay, but I'm still losing, so all of it's losing. He just grabs my pawn. We double the rooks, and he goes for this sacrifice to grab this. He removes the defender. Of course, he removed one of the defenders, but he just hangs. And he's just cooked. Absolutely cooked. I did this because, I mean, this pawn push is a little scary. This is defended, so you might as well just check. And then this pawn push attacking my queen is no longer an option. So I played it a little bit slow. And then after this move, he resigns because he's completely cooked. Completely cooked. The best computer line is to just give up the bishop. And what you're supposed to do is go over here. But it's never going to work. It's never going to work. So say you go here. I just grab the bishop, even if it's not the best computer line. You go here. But then I could bring my dude over. And if you capture, I capture back with the knight. And you're completely cooked. There's just absolutely nothing you can do. I'm just coming in. Check. Checkmate. I'm up a queen and a knight. So that's how you beat high-rated opponents. Don't panic and just wait for them to blunder. Everybody blunders, even 2000s. So wasn't the best tactical game out of everything. It kind of was just decided by a one move blunder. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I know that was a very short video, but you guys are the best. I'll see you next time. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Today we're doing something a little bit differently. We're going to be playing one of my subscribers. His name is Sean. Where do you live, Sean?
I live in Texas, Central Texas, Round Rock.
Okay. And so basically we've played a bunch of bullet games together. This is going to be our first. I'm not subscribed to your channel, so let's not be greedy out here. And I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. Take care. Thank you so much, and goodbye. Oh, hello, and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. In today's episode, we are facing one knight f3, which is a strange move. So what we're going to do is go with my same first two moves, literally no matter what the structure is. I literally just go for my pawn pyramid like this, and I make it work. So we're going to just develop some pieces, and I'm not 100% sure I played this exact structure. We're going to walk directly into this pin. We're going to break the pin. We're going to develop a knight. We're then going to give this guy a little tickle. A little tiny tickle is what we want to do. We could force him back. Force him back, chase him. He really steps back, but then we push again. Let's just go for it. Queen in the middle of the board, but I'm like slightly ahead in development. So we're going for this. I think there's probably some knight sacrifices that actually work. So he's going for this. We need to grab this. We are just in a tactical smasher. I don't know, is that a good word to use? We have to get rid of this knight, essentially. Okay. Pushing forward doesn't work just yet. Attacking this pawn is just a pretty simple and straightforward plan, that this pawn is causing problems in my position. So I'd really like to just trade it off. So I can take, and then I get the pawn. So I win a pawn. Okay, we didn't get a beautiful attack or anything. He could just go for this, but I can bring the rook over quite simply to defend that. So we're going to grab this. He's got really no scope with this queen. So he's defending against this. What if I just attack it, bro? I'm coming in. How do you defend that? You have to push this. But then I just win another pawn. I feel like you have to play this. But then I could essentially force a queen trade. And I never got the castle, but I'm not really convinced that I need to. Now that I'm up a pawn and I have the attack going, he can defend it a few different ways, now that I'm looking at it. But I'm kind of ready to just launch another pawn. Okay, so he chooses this option. So, for one, I can just take and then push. So here, we push forward. He steps over attacking. No, he can't. This. I'm attacking the queen. You've got to do something with the queen. The queen goes here. But then I launch forward defending it? Call me insane, but I think my attack is just smashing through, and I never even needed the castle. That's the one drawback of trying to hang on to your bishop. So, okay. The queen needs to stay here guarding this. Basically, I can't castle because this pawn is hanging by this rook, so I just don't want that to happen. So what if I just jump forward? Seems reasonable to me. Then I'm ready to castle, and my rook is on the open file. Oh my goodness, I'm really starting to love my position. And look at this just conglomerate of pawns in the middle of the board. And I'm ready to just castle this way. I castle this way. He threatens me with a fork. For one, I can avoid it one way. Alright, I looked at enough. The bishop's defended by the rook now, so he's got this fork, but I can step over threatening the queen trade. And yeah, he can grab the rook with check, and then I have to take here, and then he could bring a rook over, and I step over, and he could trade. I'm still winning in that endgame. I'm up 2 pawns. I've got 1 minute and 9 seconds on the clock. Don't love it. We've also got this, and then push, which is just really scary. Crashing through the position. Pushing this pawn in a key moment, actually. or even this, boom, boom, and that kind of dislodges, so I could go boom, and if he plays forward, I just capture. So this is my new idea. This, and then if the queen comes in, my rook comes attacking the queen, and I love my position. Okay, so he's going for this. So it looks like we're going to trade everything off. Because my queen is attacked. I can either remain with the queen, but we're going to do this. He could bring the rook, but I take this first. I'm not even going to think too hard about everything that just happened. This is a fork immediately. So we're stepping forward. That blocks the forward momentum of this knight. 54 seconds on the clock, up 2 pawns, but we still got to win. So just because we're crushing doesn't mean we won the game. Would love to get rid of this guy. Here. 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 We then attack again. And you're trapped, actually. So he'd have to step here. But once he does that, I can kind of defend against his infiltration squares. So if he goes back here, yes, attacking me, but I step back, and then these 2 key squares are actually cut off. And so now the knight is not getting back into my position. This way, he could... Actually, no. My rook is doing a tremendous job just defending everything. So I'm still kind of keen on the idea of push-push. Let's just go for it. If he pushes here, we're going for this. I can maybe even get my bishop in. And we've got this rook trade in the cards, and I can even take with the bishop so I don't destabilize my pawn structure. Not sure if that's like super, super important, but our opponent's got 24 seconds. And I think he's just has a really impossible to defend position. We're going to take this with check. Diagonal is still protected. We step forward. He can get in with a check. Now that I realize that, that's probably his best case scenario. We step forward. Still, we've got the diagonal, so I don't hate my position. We're going to go ahead and just give him time. I'm tired of people losing on time, so we're going to take this rook. Challenge the open file. Take. And we need to be very careful about not losing. This is protected, so if his king ever wanders too far... What do I play here? Boom, boom. I think this creates a pass pawn over here. Like so. So, destabilized, yes. King can't immediately get in. We're playing this. Defended by my dude. Okay, we're going for this. Boom, boom is kind of... Go ahead and give him some more time. Dude is absolutely just... We step back. Defended, attacked. We're going to go for this check, potentially. I can also just get in and start nibbling away at these pawns. So we're stepping in. We're also going to push this forward. Okay, we're going to step back. This is defended. This guy is, like, not defended, but we're chilling. We're going to go for this pawn break. We'll go for this if it really comes down to it. We'll just defend everything on this side of the board. Then we go for this pawn push. We're going to just go ahead and give him some more time. We're going to give him this check. So now this king needs to actually stay on this side of the board. So he's going to trade like this. We go for this. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of different ways that I can win this, but I have 3 extra passed pawns, and so essentially that is how you win a game of chess. But I'm still going to show you. He wants to hit us with opposition, so what we're going to do is just start pushing this pawn. At some point, he's going to need to get in front of it. So we'll give him a check. He goes here. We go here. Where are you going, bro? We step back. And then he's going to have to go left or right, essentially. And so we are going to go this way. We're going to let him get this pawn. So we'll step over here. He can grab, but we're going to make a queen with this new pawn. And it appears that our opponent does not fancy the idea of resigning. So I'll show you a quick and easy way to checkmate this guy. He's stepping over, and so we're trying to get the king in a smaller and smaller box. So the box has yet again shrunk. Right now, I can't put my queen on another box string, so we bring the king. We bring the king. Now, shrinking the box has all of a sudden became an option because it is defended. So now he's forced with the idea of shrinking the box yet again. I think we're just going to do it this way. We'll do it this way. There's two ways that you can do this, essentially. You can get your king on this square and checkmate this way. Or you can bonk him on the head. He steps back to one square. Most likely he goes here. But then we cut him off this way. So his only legal move is to step over. We chase him with the queen. He steps over. We chase him with the queen. And we just chase him until he's stuck in a little tiny 2x2 over here. Then we're free to bring the king. And with increment, you can like really take your time with all of this. We bring the king, and now we are ready to checkmate. If we want, we can even mess with him. No, we can't. We're going to checkmate him. No point in hanging the queen or stalemating. It's late at night. I'm tired. That was a great game. Let's run through this. Let's see. What's going on here? Yeah, so we just traded equally. Got the bishop, got the knight, but we just ruined the pawn structure. So we just made weaknesses in the position. And so just trade pieces if you can make weaknesses, such as doubled pawns. Generally, the way you win a game of chess, I would say like 80% of the games that you win are from just being up a pawn. Like you're able to just grab a pawn and you get into some sort of endgame where you promote and get a queen, and that's how you win. So let's check with the computer and see how accurate that actually was. It felt pretty good. I felt like most of those moves that I was making were fairly reasonable. So let's run through this. The opening doesn't matter all that much. We get some stuff developed. I'm liking it. Chasing him is the best move. It was. Chasing him again. Capture. Capture. And we just made two weaknesses. Okay, he could have just stepped back as well. Immediately we attack it. He can defend like this. So I didn't see that. I must admit. He could defend it like this, or he could also just attack my bishop, and then I got to do something, and then defend it. Okay? So we trade, and here we go. -3. I guess either move was okay here. Attacking the queen. That's fancy. Cutting off the king's escaping squares. Okay. This was less forcing. And it kind of just led to a simplification into an endgame where I have the bishop versus the knight, but I'm up 2 pawns. So that's what we went for. Up 2 pawns, up 3 pawns, and just trade everything down. Create a passed pawn, defend the bishop, pass pawn on a dark square, and then we realized that both of his pieces are stuck over here dealing with all of this nonsense. So I can just I'm gonna be able to crack open somehow in this way and get a passed pawn, because it's a king and 2 pawns versus 2 pawns instead of just a 2-on-2. A 2-on-2 is they get to a standstill, but with the king there, you're breaking through. And so let's check how accurate was it. 98% accurate. 1 inaccuracy in a blitz game. Bro, I might be the best chess player to ever live. 98%. I've only ever done that 5 times, 4 times. It's normally 96, 97 when I feel like it's a good game. That was a really accurate game. Holy macaroni. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is what we always do, somewhat faster, because normally we do a rapid game. Today we are not doing a rapid game, we're doing a 3+5. And so what we're going to do is just try to put the pressure on this guy, okay? I would like to play as aggressive as possible, but I'm playing with the black pieces and we have a not super aggressive structure going on. So we're going to have to step back. Bishop was attacked. We don't want the bishop. He's going to push here because, okay, we're going to just trade this off because that bishop was kind of a liability. And we're going to go for this pawn break so we have a natural development square for my knight. We are then going to put the knight on that natural development square. And we need to develop this last piece. So he doesn't need to trade. If he does, it's really not terrible for anybody. But I think we're going to trade the rooks because we pretty much got to do that. And now we are in more or less of a little bit of a situation. We can't go here because it hangs the bishop. We can step back, but then he can take here. If I take this first, he's going to give us a check. We can only block it like this, and then he takes, and I have to step out, and then he gets this. So I'm in a little bit of a problem. Stepping back like this really is going to just walk into issues here. But I could step up or step over. You know what? I think we can step over. Then the queen comes. But we're going to take this time to just step up. Defend like so. He has 2 attackers, but we also have 2 defenders. So I'm a little bit weary about capturing this bishop and just letting his knight arrive to the party. This is hanging. So I think we can take this first, then step over. I mean, he could grab this first, but then I could save my dude. I can jump forward, but then he can grab this, his queen comes back here, I give a check, he steps up. Don't love it, to be honest with you. This pawn is hanging, and that is the issue. That is what I'm trying to figure out right now. I can step over, but then he just captures this pawn. So being aggressive as possible did not really work out in my favor. If anything, he's the one pressuring me. What if we step back with the knight? We take this first. No, we can't do that. We take here, let him grab this, then we grab here. It's the best idea that I've got. He can grab this, but then I grab the knight. I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to be playing here, and I've got 2 minutes on the clock. At some point I can step back. I'm still thinking about trying to play something like this. Actually, we can play this, and then we're pinning this knight. So he could grab this. But I think that I just untangled. I'm also attacking this pawn, and I have checks. So this knight is pinned for the moment being. So he grabs this. For one, I can grab this with check first. So that's just important to note. I don't want to like take and then let him play some nonsense. So we're going to play this check first. Maybe I should have saved that. Then we play this. And then there's really a lot of different things we can do. Anything on the back rank is checkmate. So I can take this, guarding this, and if he takes here, then this is just simply checkmate. So we're going to take here, defending this pawn from check. He can't take this tactically because there's the checkmate. He can go ahead and push a pawn forward, yes. But I think I'm just going to push this forward. And I'm ready to kind of give this check. He would have to step forward. Then I can give this check. Dude having all this time in the world didn't really do him so much good. This just wins the knight straight up. So check here. We win the knight. I could even give a check here and then win this. But then he gets in with a check. I step back. He could chase us, but I block with the knight. He checks here, but it's guarded. Okay, so we're going to go for it. We're going to grab the knight. We're going to grab the knight. The pawn is defended. Yes, there's this check. Stepping this way walks into this check, but I can block here. So we're going to lose some pawns and stuff. But What if I step this way? Does blocking with the knight guard my pawn? He's got this, but I can slide all the way back. We step over. That hung this pawn. Yes. Then there's more checks to deal with. Gosh darn it. What is the way to escape from this nonsense? Well, he's got this, and that's checkmate, so that's something kind of scary to look at. What should I do? Here, allow the check. That kind of hangs the pawn. What if I just step back? He plays this, I play this, he plays this. So that's not going to work. So I'm thinking we're going to allow this check. We step back. He can play this, but we're getting ready to run. There's no more back rank checks over there. We've got this. Everything is held by the queen. And we just force a queen trade. Immediately we force a queen trade. He can go for it, but pretty much at this point it's a wrap. So this is a passed pawn, and he's going to have to deal with that. I don't know if I'm in a huge rush. I think I could, like... What should I do? Here. Here, here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm grabbing the wrong piece. What we're doing is this. And going for this pawn. I think I'm gonna... He's gonna have to go for this eventually. I mean, I've got all the time in the world to figure this out. I could maybe just, like, straight up invest in this guy. Like, he can get in the way of it. We just come over here. We're gonna attack this pawn. He can push, but I take. He push, but he's completely lost. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. He realized it just as I did. He can't push any pawns. He can't do anything. That's a wrap. So 8 minutes. Thank you so much. Let's check it with the computer real quick and just see how accurate this was. And let me see. There we are. And we're in the analysis. So I didn't know that I could do that while recording. I would always make 2 videos. So I'm probably going to start doing it just in one video and then cutting out that little black section in the middle. And is my audio good? Looks like we're chilling. Let's see. I was really getting pressurized in the middle. So Karo Khan, bada boom, bada bing. Not a Karo Khan. What am I talking about? I'm so used to playing the Karo Khan. We trade this off. We're good. Pushing the pawn was better. Oof, I always forget to play moves like this. Okay, I could have also shut the door on the queen, because the queen being on this diagonal did prove to be a problem. So that's a blunder. I can also still plug the hole with my knight. Didn't go for it. Instead, we traded these pieces without even thinking. We step back with the knight. We get pinned. Step up with the king. And really what I thought was going to happen here was some sort of nonsense where it's like take, 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 take. And like just this. What am I really supposed to do? He can take here and I step forward. It's like, bro, my king is my most advanced piece. So I saw that briefly in the game, and luckily it didn't happen. So I traded that off to get away from these ideas. But now he's got his 2 most powerful pieces over here on the side of the board, and it's back to equality. So I just got really lucky here that he went for that. And it looks like this is what you want to do. But essentially, if I plug the hole and your pieces aren't getting in, then this is literally like all of your material. Like, these knights aren't doing anything. This is all of your material held up by a knight and a pawn, essentially. So we trade, and now we get in, and all of a sudden we're winning. Bada boom, bada bing. He captures. Best move. Check it out. Computer says it. Okay. Either way. Either one was fine. You know what I mean? I don't think that was a situation where it really mattered all that much. And then, simple fork. Boom, boom. You always got to look like, come on, bro. You got to look for forks. I guess it's kind of hard to see, but obviously I'm giving one of these checks. So you always got to check, like, what are the diagonals coming from those checks. So boom, we grab this, and then essentially I just knew that I was going to get hit with a bunch of checks. But I'm doing the little cocoon. Like, yes, he got a pawn, but realistically, like, come on. There was not, he couldn't keep checking me. And everything is actually quite guarded. So this pawn is guarded. When my queen is here, both pawns are guarded. So all I need to do is just stop getting checked, and I'm going to be able to make advancements forward. Right here, the easiest thing to do is force a check. Force a check. Force a queen trade with a check, I should say. He steps back or whatever. It doesn't matter. We're trading the queens. And then in this endgame, essentially my game plan is my knight is going to deal with these guys, and your king has to deal with these guys. And my knight is quite capable of jumping in and grabbing this and jumping over here and grabbing this. And just my knight can mop up all of these guys because my pawns definitely stop some stuff. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed watching me play chess, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye. Like, this move really might just make a lot of sense. And this bishop isn't ever actually getting in the game, so I think I do have time to just play this. But this move immediately attacks the queen. So boom, check, take. I'm still attacking the queen. I mean, if you sacrifice, I just take with the rook. If he steps back this way, we definitely don't love that. Because then he's got ideas of like stuff like this. So this might trade off the bishop. The more pieces that we trade, the better I feel about everything in life. I can also jump back and force this trade. It's hard to say which move is the best. So I'm kind of thinking that all of them are okay. So we're going to play this. We're adding a defender to this pawn. He could just step over. Jesus. This might have been the move. If this... I think we play this. We attack the queen. He can still throw in this check. We're chilling. Gotta do something with the queen. And then I can throw this forward. Here, here, here. You're doing something with the queen, no? What will that be? Maybe go here? I think we will play it. Just a sneaky attack on the queen. Where this bishop is quite a large nuisance in the position. I guess if he doesn't trade, then like what else is he going to do? I need to figure out how to break this pin. So pushing this pawn forward is like a double thing. I can now put this bishop... I can just take that, no? I did not even consider what if he captures. The queen is hanging. I take the queen. You take my queen. I take... You add pressure here. I don't love it. I kind of like this, but then the rook is coming. But then we just step back. Jesus. This is like almost just guaranteed to do all right. We take, take, take. Probably you bring here. I defend at that point. You grab this pawn. We don't love that. What about take here? Oh my god. Never mind. It's pinned. That's never going to happen. What is the move? This. We bring this. You could sacrifice in that line. I think just trading the queens makes a lot of sense. I take. You take. I come back. I just don't see a way to checkmate me once the queens are off the board, so we're going to fight in an end game where I'm just not 100% convinced that I'm losing. I can grab this, and then I have 3 pawns for the knight. And then I have like breathing room for my king, so I kind of like that. We play this, he's bringing this. I defend, he's bringing this. I step up. We're doing it. This is held a few different ways. This pin still sucks, but like I said, there's no way to like actually do anything cool to it. Potentially I just step out of the pin, no? Like what if I line this up? What do I do here? think we're going to do this. Just so we can hold on to these pawns. We're in no huge rush. We do have my little light square defender, so I can circle back like this. But we need to be able to move this knight. And if I can like trade this off, oof, I feel like things get a little bit comfortable for me. And I can almost hide this bishop. I can throw this in first for one. Throw this in. We're throwing that in. If you attack with the rook, I can pin you. If you take, I take with check. So if you defend, I take, and you can only take one of my pieces, so this bishop will live. Okay, so he steps back. I mean, I'm going to lose my knight or this guy. What if I just sacrifice? What if I just sacrifice here? We can play this. And once he captures, I have this fork. We play this. You step forward. I think we're going to just sacrifice. I'm going to lose something. But I think I'm untangling. We then line this up. So we go boom, boom. Here, here. If I step back, you could grab this pawn. But then I hit you with this check. So I think this works. You step over. Give this check. You go somewhere. You probably go there. Check. You grab the bishop. The knight gets out. Boom. Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, if I play this, he's just going to attack. Definitely need to be getting this. What am I doing? Isn't this knight my whole problem? I've got 2 minutes on the clock. This probably is going to stay here. Like if I can just get that locked in. Bro, really? I mean, if I go here, I'm walking into some checks. But this is quite safe. This disconnects my rooks. I'm playing this. 2 seconds, I need to be playing a little bit faster. I've got a bug crawling across my screen. I mean, I can push forward. Boom, boom. So he's going for this. We can defend. Oh my god, if I play this, he hits me with this check. I can defend. But then he can just take and I can't take back. We can defend like this. Might need to play something like this. Oh, yikes. I'm so scared. This is held. We're attacking this rook. Rook's got to do something. If he goes here, I play this. Fudge. I don't have to take. If I take, I step up, you get this guy. So I think we just step up. He can play the... No, he can't. It's held. He can play this. I can run. If I step up... 43 seconds. Man, playing the Alien Gambit is just absolutely ridiculous. I can also play this. This guy is just a monster. 37 seconds. Please don't let me blunder this away. Held. Check is held. Dudes are held. How is his king so safe over there, bro? That's what I don't like. Like, bro. We go for this. Here. He could take. Here, check. Here, check. Step up, check. I step up. I think it simplifies. Nine seconds. I need to play this like all incredibly quickly. If you play something like this, I can just take. And all of a sudden, somehow this was attacking my king, and my king has run to the other side of the board. Yikes. Check. Here. Check. Here. Check. Here. He can get behind my pawn. And then we're just in a kind of a crazy endgame. I'm literally going to push this pawn, bro. I also have this. Like, I play this and I have this check first. Boom, boom. I can play this. He attacks my rook. If I hit this check, he steps up. I take. He takes. I take. Check. Here. I can run. I might play this, dude. I have more pieces. I need to be like more active. Pushing this. I don't know what else to play. I can throw in a check. Here. He's got this check, but I can block. We're trying to push this dude away. Okay, it didn't work. I should have given this check. Jesus, bro. Defended the pawn, threatening this. He might have to bail out and play this. Give another check. Jesus. If you run, I hit with this check. If he takes, check. Here. You have to take now. I can pin. No, I hang the knight. I hate chess, bro. I trade. I'm attacking this. You've got to check. 4 seconds, okay. I hang my knight. I hung my knight. We get a fork. Oh my god. He can step in though. No, he can't. I'm defending the promotion square. We take this. I mean, I don't know what else to do. We're just going to attack this guy. I'm going to sacrifice just something. I could have just taken there. That would have made a lot of sense as well. But I'm going to take that with something. We take 8 seconds. We take this. He can push. Just dark square. He can't get in. I'm covering this whole file, so I'm sneaking in to touch this guy. 6 seconds. Jesus Christ. Bro. Bro, this is unbelievable. Like, unbelievable, bro. Dude, my heart is beating so fast. That was so sloppy in that end game. Oh my god, I don't even know if I deserved to win that. This is not a draw, but dude, I just let him like literally put his like if you can pick like what are the best squares in the position to put your pieces? King here, bishop here. And where do I want my pieces? I don't know. My king to be here. How did I like I have more pieces and power and everything. How did I let that happen? And worst case scenario, I could just trade my bishop. Like I could trade my rook for his bishop at some point. There was definitely like a configuration where I could have just like tried to figure out something. Wow, I am not that good at chess. That was probably like a 60% accurate game. Oh my god. Let's check it with the computer. All that happened, dude, I hung a piece at some point. I don't even know where that was. Holy mackerel, that was the sloppiest game of chess ever. And now I just realized that if the audio didn't work this time, I recorded another video where probably the audio didn't work. Let's look at this together. Let the graph be revealed. I'm afraid. I did throw it away at one point. I know it. Right here, there's going to be like a spike where I threw it back to a draw or he was winning. On Alien Gambit variation. As you can see, the computer is saying, go ahead and play c5. But if you want to avoid the Alien Gambit, play c5. Because then at this point, he might play something different, okay? He's not guaranteed to sacrifice the knight. And you might have a more normal game of chess. If you want him to play the gambit, don't push this, attack the knight. Because then, his whole idea was to play the Alien Gambit. The only reason you wouldn't play the Alien Gambit is if your opponent is like, bro, I've studied the Alien Gambit. Okay? So, counterintuitive, play like the second or third best move. Don't play the best move because you want him to play what is generally considered not a great move. But, oh boy, was it exciting. Then, after he has committed to playing the Alien Gambit, the knight is gone. The king has stepped forward. It's already happened. Now you go for the pawn push. He gives a check. You block it with the pawn. You step back. You can either capture, but developing the knight is actually the best move. He captures, you capture. Capture, man, every single move I played was like the best move. Then throwing the knight to the middle, one of the best moves. Developing queen, one of the best moves. Ugh. Pushing this pawn forward. Oh, just forcing a queen trade. What did I play? I went for the pawn push. Actually throwing away a lot of my advantage. We trade the queens. He takes. Then I take. Stepping up with the king was the best move. Best move. We trade here first. Now, I could have just decided not to be incredibly fancy. I sacrificed, which threw away 2 points of material. So it's -5. Sacrificing the bishop was just trying to be too fancy here. It's split his pawns, but I guess I'm still being the one attacked here. So that was for sure a blunder. But we have ideas of discovery. But now that the king is perfectly safe in this corner, I'm the one that's getting attacked still. So even after you split his pawns and are up a knight, his bishop is just attacking more than mine, and his rooks are ready to attack more than mine. This rook has literally not even moved yet. Okay, we step back. He steps in. Brave moves, defending. I step up. Okay, just because it looks scary, you don't have to capture and allow this where you step up and he wins this rook for free. So it looks terrible, but you can just step up. Now the rooks do see each other, so it's just an equal trade. So this move looked very scary, but actually you have a resource. You step up. Another check, I step up again. You give me too many checks, my friend, and I'm going to be safe. Now, I push this forward because I liked the idea of, like, this bishop defending these guys, my knight here, and everything is just incredibly well held. He hits me with the check, I step back. Only -1. We jump forward. We hide in the corner to defend this pawn. If I didn't, I could have stepped either way, really, to keep that defense going. Okay. Suggesting to sacrifice here. Okay. I'm not even sure, like, when I sacrificed my knight, did I sacrifice it, like, 100%? Okay, we give a check. He steps here. I got scared and I just repeated the move. I know that this is a safe square, so that's a blunder. I could have attacked this rook, and then realistically, like, what is the rook doing? I guess you could hide somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. We step back. We just put the knight back. He's undefended, but he is defending this pawn, and I'm threatening this fork. So he moves the rook. Now I have this fork, and I miss it. Okay? But I had 5 seconds, so please forgive me. I had 5 seconds here. I do have this fork. He takes, and I take this, and I'm also threatening this guy. Ugh. Breaks my heart to see it. He steps forward. We give a check. And now his king is actually, like, kind of sketchy. And I do just hang my knight completely. And I'm sure in the video I called it out. Oh my god, I hung my knight. We trade a rook. We jump forward. We step forward. And then I hang my knight again. But for some reason, taking is not a good idea. Take. Bro, I forgot which way my pawns were even going. Because we were running around so crazy, I forgot which way my pawns were going. Legitimately, I, for some reason, thought my pawn was going this way. Would I have seen that? Would I have seen that? I, for some reason, just thought Bro, my brain didn't work right here in 6 seconds. I have nothing else to tell you. For some reason, I thought the knight was hanging. This happens. Then we get the fork. We capture. We get over to this pawn. Now, honestly, these pawns are on dark squares, so I don't even need any of my pieces over there. So I can literally bring these 3 pieces to get this pawn. We step in here. For 1, I can take this first. But I just decided to take the pawn. I can take here because it defends this, but also I have 7 seconds, so I was like, you know what? This pawn is the problem in the position. Let's get rid of it. We take a pawn. And dude, in low time, I was literally just too afraid. I'm absolutely crushing. Nothing I did can possibly make me lose this position. But, dude, I might have accidentally gotten to the whatever move. 50 move you fudged up. But if he was just going to waste a move with this guy. We step forward with the king. If the king ever moves, I go for the push. So if he goes this way, I go for this push. So if he goes over here... Okay, so back in this position, he lost on time. Let's see with the computer. Best computer move, I go for the pawn push. If you push here, I have a pass pawn. Okay, so you have to take. I take with check. So let's say he didn't do that. He probably wasn't going to do that. Where are we? Boom, 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 boom. He was going to just move the bishop. Okay. Probably could keep it. He could take, even. Give this check. If you take, I get the pawn. So, finding this move, I was never going to play this. Never going to play this. I don't want to fudge up too long, so I guess let's just do it like this. Okay, we're winning. If you made it this far in the video, I absolutely love you. Sorry that was such a sloppy performance. Let's do a quick round of guess the accuracy. If you get within 5%, please subscribe. Okay? I'm thinking that I played that actually 87. Now that I went through the game, 87, 85. I think 85. 83. Oh, 85 on the dot. I will subscribe to my own channel. I said 85. That was the last one. And I definitely threw back to some draws here and there. But, oh my god, the Alien Gambit is, even when you know the best 10 moves. Like, I played the computer recommendation, like 10 moves in a row out of the opening. And, oh my god, in that endgame, it got serious. I hung my knight. And, oh boy, all the way back in that position when I hung my knight. Where was it? Boom. If he would have captured the knight right here, like, dude, we have a game of chess on our hands. We have a game of chess on our hands where he has a protected... He has an outside pass pawn, but his king is cut off, and my bishop is actually quite strong. Hard to say, dude. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Sorry for rambling so long. Sorry the review is so long. I won't do it in the next video. I love you. Bye. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. Today, we are facing e4, e5 against a 1989. And so, this is one of my least favorite lines in the bishop's opening because there's just less opportunities for attack. Now, I believe that I've been looking at this line. I really hope that I'm not making some sort of major error. He has to step back, but I grab the pawn back. The queen comes out, and I grab the queen. If the bishop comes out, I just develop normally, I believe. This is hanging from the knight as well, so let's just take stock of that. This is completely new for me. I've never actually got the opportunity to play this. This is my first time, but I've been studying it in the lab just a little bit. I'm kind of hoping the queen comes out, because if we trade off the queens, I'm less likely to blunder, because the queen attacks a lot of squares, and so now... that's a lot less squares being attacked in the position. So my knight is still being attacked. I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to go, to be real with you. I think I'm okay with this. I really want to push this pawn forward, but his knight is in a stupid spot. if we're going to be honest. Take a look at this knight. It's in the way of this pawn, and so to get his bishop active, he's going to have to make a lot of moves. So he's still got to move this knight somewhere. So all I got to really be worried about is giving him a tempo-winning move with that knight. So we just don't want his knight moving forward and attacking something. So that's moving forward, but it's not attacking anything. Let's go for this. If we trade, we trade, and it is what it is. And we're doing a 3-minute plus 3 second instead of the regular rapid game, just because, you know what I mean? I don't want you guys sitting there forever. You can get the same information if the moves are played accurately from a fast game as you can from a slow game. And so I really have the opportunity to, for one, just get checked and then get pinned. So this check is going to be a tad bit annoying to deal with, and he'll find it. If he's 1989, this check is coming in. But I probably just play more bullet than our friend over here. Okay, so I have the option to castle. What did that change? The bishop now defends this. Castling opposite seems like a lot of fun, so let's just go ahead and do that. Jumping forward, attacking my knight doesn't really do anything, and you've still got to make a couple weird moves with this knight to even get it into the action. So developing the bishop, he's got kind of actually a difficult to play position now that I'm really looking at it. What am I talking about? I've been looking at it this whole time. We're going to step back here because stepping back here looks stupid. So we're going here. Rook to the open file, question mark. Seems like a good idea. That also kind of takes away the idea of all of this. Now, jump forward, take. Let's go for it. Don't be shy. That took away the ideas of winning a pawn from this exchange. So before the knight was there, if he pushed here, I can take. No, I can't win a pawn. I'd have to move. Okay, so everything is just going swimmingly. We're going to go ahead and capture. This knight has really, I was going to say no great forward momentum. And pushing here really just walks into this. So at this moment, I'm slowly realizing, unfortunately, we're going to be playing a endgame, bishop versus knight. And I suppose I'm going to just accept it because I don't really want to walk into this because it is an opposite side castling game of chess. And so I don't want to do whatever I was trying to explain right there. Now, this knight needs a future. This seems promising. It seems promising. Never mind. We're going back to exactly where we were before. And I might just step forward. We might step forward, put these pawns, just take a moment to put some pawns on some dark squares, because I feel like the rooks are about to get traded off just completely equally. But I have a 40-second time advantage, and I have a advantage in bullet, okay? Let's actually check his profile. Dude doesn't play bullet at all. Okay. So we can happily rush into this. We don't need to, though. And I think time is everything. So stepping forward is probably going to be the best idea. We're going to need to start bringing my king to the middle. And so I can step back. Let's just trade. Bring the knight this way. If he trades this way, he's actually probably slightly better in this endgame. It's a king and pawn endgame, and so these are notoriously difficult. So we're going to go here. He can advance his pawn. So what we want to start doing is figuring out how to advance these pawns. And we have 4 over here, so it's 4 on 4 and 3 on 3. The only imbalance is the bishop versus the bishop versus the knight. And I'm somewhat weary about I just don't want my pawns. Like, he can attack my light squared pawns. So the more pawns that I have on these dark squares, the better. And then one other thing that you should just know is, like, if you put your pawns on dark squares, they're going to also capture and trade on dark squares. So once you, like, as long as you don't move them, the captures that are going to take place are going to be on the same color square, if that makes sense. So that's one thing to note, like, in an endgame. And so he's got this light square bishop, so the more pawns that I can get on these dark squares, the more happy of a camper I'll be. I can step back here, but then he has the chance to move forward. I hit him with a check. He comes in again. I jump in over here attacking the bishop. He probably just steps back. I can just jump here. Take, and he steps in. I step up. He launches a pawn. I give him a check. He steps back. Let's do this. I should have maybe kept the knight on the board to really try and solidify my chances at a dub. But yeah, that was a bad move because he can just trade, and that greatly simplifies the position for somebody with 30 seconds. Okay, so we're going to change gears and jump over here. I kind of wanted my knight to be there. Like, he can try and get fancy, but I'll step back with the knight to block that because I don't want to push and take like this and separate my pawns. So that's just not something that we're not going to be doing. I mean, that check doesn't really accomplish a whole heckin' lot. But we're going here. Potentially, we push this. If he pushes here, I can trade off this extra annoying pawn that I have. If you see, I got 2 pawns on the B file. I don't need 2 pawns on the B file. And I kind of like the idea of just attacking that bishop. Don't see why not. He's got this whole diagonal, bro. Kind of sucks. Here. He could just trade. But I like the idea of him trading here and my knight going to the middle. Okay, so he does, in fact, trade. I don't want this split. So we're going to take here with check. That is a check. We take this. He's got this, and I take. And then I've got a 2 on actually 2, but my structure sucks. I'm going to give him time. God damn it. I didn't give him time. It's a complete draw. Let's just check this with the computer. Complete draw. Unless I'm just completely lost. Yeah, complete draw. I'm actually losing a little bit. There is the deep freeze situation. Oh, dear Lord. There's this, where 1 pawn freezes 3 pawns. Because I can't push, he just takes. So that is the deep freeze. I did not even think about that. I was more thinking about what are we doing with these minor pieces. But I probably should have been thinking about what are we going to do with these minor pieces after... what are we doing with these pawns once the minor pieces trade? And I didn't think about it. He has a deep freeze. So... I mean, we got the dub. So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked my video or you learned anything, you want to see more, please subscribe. I try and post like 1 video every few days. I really sit down and do like 50 games and just record all of them, and then the good ones I keep, and then I just post them. And so you'll probably see me wearing the same tank top in like 5 of these shirts. I'll go change my shirt right after this video, and you guys will have no idea that it was filmed right after this. So thank you so much for watching my video. Get out of here. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. We're back at it again with another epic and educational day of chess. Today we are facing Jesus himself, a 2000 question mark, and his other ratings are quite low. He's played 250 games, so that's a fair bit of games. We're playing C6 because that's what we play every gosh darn time. We're going to just go for this. And you know what? We're going to close the pawn pyramid and already on move whatever. I'm not 1000% versed with this opening, but I'm confident that it's going to work out. And I think the longer you play chess, the more openings just make sense. And so, like, I don't know if I've had this exact position. I believe actually I have. Normally this pawn has done something, but we're going to just go for this pawn break. It makes a lot of sense to me. If he takes, I develop the bishop. If he doesn't take, I have the natural developing square for my knight. And so he has this check, which I can defend like this. It's a little bit sketchy, but it will... Wait a minute. I defend with the queen. What am I talking about? I defend this. I threaten the queen. Oh, dear Lord. He's trying to get fancy. I think I can shut the door on the queen first, because this check is really what seems to be the risky business in the situation. So I can shut the door on this queen and then capture back at will. And so I think we are going to just go ahead and do that. My natural knight for the natural developing square. So we're going to do this. Could he sacrifice the knight for activity? I don't know. Things could get a little bit complicated. And this is about the point of the game where we start the rigmarole and we see who's the better chess player. Because we've got no more opening theory. I'm booked out, completely booked out. And so is our opponent. Because look at this pawn attacking his queen. He doesn't know what to do. He's frizzly frazzled. Does he step back or does he try and get fancy with it? That would be the only option. Okay, now, I like the idea of taking with the rook.